Did you hear Huck Finn ripping into them?
Oh yeah.
These guys don't even need to be on their podcast. Are they fucking rock stars?
All right. I'm gonna get going here. Let me get the old game face on. I haven't done
La,
the.
la,
I
la,
haven't.
la.
I don't think I've done the intro in like a month. So this
Blah.
is because it's been random episode after random episode. So let's go. Okay. Da, 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 da.
Are you gonna
And
start speaking just like that?
you
Gotta start with all right. All right.
I hate
All
you.
right.
That was the worst. You guys suck.
Hong Kong! Hong Kong!
And welcome back to episode 62 of the Unpaid and Underrated Podcast, a podcast by crew for crew. I'm one of your hosts, Big Keith, joined as always here by Big Joey.
Hi, I'm over here to the right.
Or left, or actually you're above me in my screen. And we have big special guest this week, Zach Anderson, all the way from
Hello.
Massonomics Gym. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well.
Well, good to have you. Good to have you.
Would you say you're living the dream? Are you living the dream?
Oh, always
Yep.
working hard.
I wish I was hardly working, but I do got to work Friday, so it's one of those weeks. Anybody drinking anything fancy this week, or just move on that one?
Yeah, I got some fancy Dasani water over here.
Oh, there you go. Dasani.
Whenever I go to a drive-through,
Bottled tap water.
yeah, I don't get pop when I go to the drive-through because I drink pop like once a week.
Mm-hmm.
So I always get a bottle of water, and then I just end up with stupid amounts of bottled water.
I don't know, man. The fountain Diet Coke from McDonald's or something. It's so much better than a can. So I don't get it. I mean, I almost never
just don't
do
want
that.
pop.
But
Like I just don't
I
want.
get, yeah. Especially if that time of the day. Like I'm not trying to drink caffeine unless I'm working out after like noon.
Oh no, give me all the
So
caffeine.
then me and you, Big Joey, are different then because I've got, and this is knowing the people that turned in some responses. I figure I'll just start with the punchline being a cheap ass. This cup, if you buy it from the gas station, you get free refills
Yeah, there you go.
forever.
Forever, huh? Was no, is that coffee or soda or anything?
It's soda. So I
Gotcha.
mix a little bit of regular Coke with Diet Coke just to try to get some of the real sugar.
Okay. I don't think I've had a real Coke, and maybe I had to have one because like it was the only thing at a party or something. My wife like and I split one, but it's like after drinking Diet Coke for 15 years and then having a real Coke, it's like this tastes like shit. So I don't know.
I actually even for my pop selection, I have sugar-free ginger ale. Yeah, this is 40. I'm suddenly very aware of what's in my pop.
I'm knocking on that door. Anybody wearing anything good this week? What you got on this week, Zach? What's your drip? What shirt you wearing, bud?
Oh, got on. I'm sorry. I'm wearing the
sorry.
neon lift shirt.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is a good one. They had that at the Lift Hard Live Easy when I was there, but not in my size, and I was pretty bummed.
I've got the brick comfort color gym shirt. Pretty big fan of that one.
I don't have anything special. I've got Anti-Lifting Social Club because
Aren't we all sometimes?
it's just miserable the past couple of days.
Yeah, it's been a week. It's been a rough one. Anybody get a chance to listen to last week's episode, Massonomics Podcast?
I did, because this is the one that they were getting prepped to go to Ohio, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And I love the second call out in a row as far as weeks go that they're like, yep, we're going to get right into the title topic and fuck over your timestamps.
And they have, yeah. The 1 week they got into it in like 5 minutes. This time they were probably a half hour in, but it was still better than like the hour that it might take sometimes. Anything stick out to you or any kind of rating you want to give it there, Zach?
I would give it 5 out of 5 iPod touches, but I don't know if they're all still working at the gym anymore. So I will say 5 out of 5 Force Mat coasters.
Nice. That's a good one. Yep. I would say that I watched it Sunday night, but fuck, man, it didn't. I don't know what time it hit YouTube, but it sure as hell didn't hit YouTube when I was ready to watch it. So I did miss my normal routine of watching the Massonomics podcast and then going right into Last of Us and hitting the sack. So, but yeah, I was able to listen to it all on the drive to work Monday. I think my favorite part was when Tommy and Tanner both had like interactions with people in South Dakota wearing Massonomics gear, and they couldn't have been any different. But I really hope Tommy actually like not necessarily solicit him for crew, but like the guy that he talked to sounded like a pretty good candidate to join crew. And then that'd be so much easier for him to do the crew falls event and stuff. He's literally Tommy's neighbor and like he knows of Massonomics. Like that would have been a pretty easy hey, I mean, but that was so awkward to be like, will you give my company $3 a month so then you can be in a Discord with us? So I get that awkwardness, but then it's like he really seems like a guy that would want to hang out with us, but you don't necessarily qualify to do the all the extra stuff if you're not crew. So I don't know. It's kind of a conundrum that we're not really in because we don't walk in there barefoot shoes. So, but I will go ahead and give it. Did you like how I snuck that in there? I'm gonna go ahead and give it 5 out of 5 late YouTube drops.
Yeah, the online fitness community thing. I definitely listened to it and I had some ideas, but the problem is I listen while I'm driving. So unless I can get Siri to take notes for me, it's like hard to grasp and feedback. But I do want to say one thing. I think Massonomics has the chance right now to do the funniest thing ever and start their own home gym community on Facebook where they do allow self-promotion so they can post their own videos and everybody can share their videos and be like, no questions about horse stall mats. Like just do the opposite of what that awful community is and just run it themselves. I know that that's a big investment and I don't think they're going to do it, but the whole time I was just thinking like that would be so funny is like create an actual home gym Facebook page for nerds who care and not just want to come in and post like their new bar or their new horse stall mats or ask silly questions. I think you guys have a chance to do something very funny there. And yeah, either way, I'm going to give that one 5 out of 5, filed down knurling Texas power bars.
Nice. I have two follow-ups on that. One being, so like pre-Discord, but like Massonomics being in the, there wasn't a crew. Like I was like contemplating like we should start a Facebook group because there's like 30 people I'm friends with and on Instagram that like it'd be so much easier to coordinate shit in a Facebook group. And then, by the time, that just never, came to fruition. And then, Discord became a thing and I finally got into that. But that was kind of a funny thought of like a Massonomics Facebook group of some sense, but not necessarily the one I was thinking of wouldn't have been home gym. But, and then this was a topic I had for later, but it kind of correlates with last week's episode perfectly because so them basically talking about all the home gym groups and everything, and they don't let them post the things, but if someone else posts it, it's kind of okay sometimes. So like, I think 3 or 4 separate times this week I posted. So I posted David video, I posted Clawtron's video, and I posted Paul's video. The first 2 got deleted. Lost all that threads, and then I'm assuming the one that I posted to Paul's today is going to get deleted by the time this comes out. So. I guess I'm done doing that because I don't really want to get banned or, throttled down in that group just because I do enjoy 40% of the group, maybe 20% of the group. So I do want to be part of it still. But yeah, definitely the mods are going in there and shit canning those posts. But what's kind of funny is they were getting great engagement only from my friends that I'm like my Massonomics friends, like the 50 people that I'm friends with on Massonomics, like whoever saw that, I was getting like 10 or 15 likes and some comments, but it was only from 90% of the people were like, Tanner, Tommy, and like the other like home gym guys that I'm, in crew. So I don't know that it was helping anyway before it got deleted, but yeah, Coop's not about that life. So, yeah.
Which is, again, wild. Like they said, like, oh, is this content directed towards the people in this group? It absolutely is. Would they all really enjoy it? They absolutely would. So I can post it? No, you can't. And I think that's, again, that's just crazy to me. I'm not on Facebook anymore. I deleted Facebook about 2 weeks ago, completely after being on Facebook for almost 20 years. I finally just got so annoyed. I just deactivated, removed all of my history. Like you can't find me anywhere on there now. And so I don't have a dog in the race anymore because Facebook sucks. It's just full of awful, scary. Everybody's so afraid of everything on Facebook. I was like, I'm done. Delete. Right. So yeah, either way would be funny. Start your own group, run it the opposite and see which one has more success. Anybody pick up the new drop today? I
saw it.
Yeah, I was there. I was at 3:59 our time. constantly hitting refresh to see it.
Zach, do you want to tell the listeners what the drop was? Did you get a chance to see it?
I did. So there was a T-shirt with a different color of the Massonomics lifting crew, or the lifting department.
Mhm.
And then there was the black slides and a shaker bottle. I was kind of surprised to see a shaker bottle.
For
I saw
newbies
that
and
And I
shaker.
can't remember.
So I saw that shaker bottle. Well, like that was I think they talked about it on the podcast, but like someone at the Arnold like already had one pre-made for him, or maybe made it on the fly. It's like, oh, we could make these for you. They, it was really high quality, and I think they had hinted that they might pull the trigger on it. So I wasn't overly surprised on that one, but it was definitely the same one that I saw at the Arnold.
Gotcha. Well, and then the last one was one that I forget isn't,
The Silly
because
Goose
being a
flag.
member of Massonomics, yeah, that's
Oh.
been up in Massonomics Gym for probably 3 weeks now.
Yeah, I've seen it in the background of a few things, and I think I think Jake already had it at his house, or maybe it was posted. Maybe Jake posted a picture. I remember seeing it on Instagram and in YouTube somewhere for sure. But yeah, I personally didn't get a chance to pick anything up yet. I'll have to go back and kind of sit down and be like, I don't know. I like flags, but I'm not a silly goose, so I don't know.
Oh, I am a silly goose. I just have no room for flags anymore until the gym gets a little bigger. I can't even hang the certified gym flag yet. Like I just don't have the room for all of the flags I have. Flags.
Leagues.
I have the lift banner, and then I have the beer, the original Crispy Boys, but I don't have a home gym, so mine are just hanging out in my garage.
Yeah, there you go.
I was like, okay, well, it works.
Worth it. Keith, you finally watched Shrek. You finally
Yeah.
caved, and
I watched like
Ooh.
3 of them. I think I watched 3 of them in like 2 days. I was having a really, and what kind of motivated me, I had some really bad work drama I was kind of working through the last few weeks, and just needed a comedy. Everyone's been talking about Shrek. I needed an easy, dumb comedy that my wife would also consume with me. So I was just like, if people have been talking about Shrek for me for like 2 years, I think I need to finally watch Shrek. So I laughed a lot. It was funny. I think the biggest debate was what's better, the first one or the second one. There was a lot of people who actually thought the second one was better. I don't know. I would say they're almost like 1A, 1B. Definitely took a big nosedive on the third one, I felt. I'm curious what the fourth one is. And then I think there's a fifth one coming out next year. So, I was a fan. I think I gave it a 7.5 or something, which for me is like very high praise. So
there's a scene in one of the Shreks. It might be 1 or 2, when the horse is sitting at the bar, and the bartender walks up and says, "Hey, why the long faces?" I, in the theater, laughed so hard, but it was a theater full of kids who obviously didn't get the joke, but I was in stitches. Just how silly that they included that. Yeah, that movie is really funny. I might rewatch it at some point.
I actually did like some YouTube, like I think we were just looking to watch like bloopers or something, and I stumbled across like random facts about Shrek, and I guess the guy that created it was like a guy that essentially got like pushed out from Disney, and that's why like everything is like a mock of Disney. It's because he got like shit canned and pushed out, and because he wanted like royalties and all these. Like, he made like Beauty and the Beast and the Little Mermaid, and like that like 15-year stretch, or the 10-year The Lion King, like where that huge stretch of like huge blockbusters, and all he was getting was a salary when he wanted like a percentage, so they forced him out, and then he started DreamWorks, I think, or Pixar. DreamWorks. Yeah, so he started DreamWorks with like Spielberg and some other dude, and this is what the YouTube's video. So that's why like so much of the movie is just straight up mocking Disney, which I don't know how he can get away with that, because that's like, was shit changed just enough to not be copyright? Or I guess if all those, maybe since it's all, because copyright shit goes away after like 50 years or 100 years or something, and all those characters were created in like the fucking 20s, right? So,
well, because the problem I imagine would be that Disney is just based on actual stories, right? A lot of them from the Brothers Grimm, and you can't copyright those. They can only copyright the likenesses.
Yeah.
So you can have any 7 dwarves in the world that you want. Like, you're allowed to do that. They just can't look like the ones Disney made. And that's probably how he got away with it.
It's fair. But yeah, I enjoyed them. I definitely watched the fourth one at some point in the coming weeks, and then I would anticipate watching the newest one. The Puss in Boots I got a kick out of that because I was like, as a cat guy, like, and I think I have I knew of Puss in Boots to some extent, but like not necessarily where it came from but yeah, the whole movie was just it's I made a mistake not watching them earlier, but yeah, so I would say, you know, good on you guys for, be a little badgering me into watching them essentially. And another thing I kind of got badgered into doing was I know I've mentioned the lump on my neck a few times on the podcast, and I finally followed up after 18 months and made another appointment, and we have a CT scan ordered, so we'll see what's going on with that lump on my neck, and hopefully hopefully it's nothing. So
Yep,
but
get back to squatting.
yeah, well, I've been basically working around it. I just can't high bar. So basically, we just spent the last 18 months to 2 years just not high bar squatting. So, but yeah, we'll see. But let's see. You got what's going on with your pants, Joey?
What do you mean with my pants?
Did you have a story about your pants?
Yeah, I've gone through 2 pairs in a week. Just popping seams and yeah, strongman must be doing it for me. I don't know what's going on. I'm down like actual body weight, but I've literally popped seams on 2 pairs of pants in the past 2 weeks. It's starting to.
Oh, so it wasn't like based on the Andy Sandberg song?
No.
I know. It was.
No, Keith.
It's a
No,
funny song.
the one that you're highlighting there, the being a lifter in the corporate world. I just had
Oh,
one
I
of
assume
those.
that's what it was.
No, I had one of these weird like I was in the gym and I was horse cocking weights, right? And you're wearing like your booty shorts and your bare feet and you're just like yelling and screaming, like having a time. And then you got to go and put on like dress shoes and dress pants and a collared shirt and go and send like polite emails. It's so funny. Just like, and I know Tanner will back me on this because I'm sure he's in the same boot or in the same boat, in the same shaboot.
Shaboot.
Where you're just
I said
like,
that way too loud. Stephanie's gonna kill.
2 opposite versions of you. And I thought that was really funny. I just like, I left the gym, had a good pump, was feeling jacked. And then I just put on like this outfit and I go and climb in my car and I got to go and send like, I hope this email finds you well. Like,
I hate sending emails.
It's just so funny, the dichotomy between those 2 versions of yourself. I thought that was just an interesting. Obviously, everybody has already become aware of that, and that's a very basic meme. But to me, it just became reality in that one day where it was just like, why am I dressed like this? Why do I have to put on dress shoes? Why am I leaving the house to be nice to people? Like, what is happening? So that's what that one was. I do have another one. I have a theory.
Yeah.
And I'm going to run with this a little bit. Has anybody other than Ryan seen Nate in person since the Arnold of 2023?
Negative. I've never seen him at all.
No, no.
I've seen a lot of other people from Ohio, like
Yep.
several. Like I've met, I've slept at Hogan's house. I've corresponded with, I think, every other Ohioan crew.
Ohio, yeah.
I don't know.
Ohioan.
Yeah. I have shook the hand of many a Ohio resident. Kurt Locker, Sam. Oh god, there's like 3 or 4 other ones. I'm sure. Tom.
Yep.
So many.
So speaking of Tom,
yeah,
he's part of my theory here.
Okay.
At the Arnold, Tom and Nate tried to Midwest goodbye. No, not Midwest goodbye.
I remember that story. Irish goodbye.
Yeah, Irish goodbye. Like, we were all walking to Brothers.
Tanner caught
and then
him,
we turned around, and Tanner caught them trying to like just leave the crowd.
It's the best when Tanner catches you trying to Irish goodbye. It's the most ironic.
So the theory is Tom actually killed Nate that night.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Nate has not been an actual alive person since then. And Tom is the actual genius behind Nate AI. So think about that, right? They're together. They disappear together, and then Nate never shows up to an in-person meeting again.
That's true. I mean, he's always talking a big game on Discord. Like, he posted the meme about us all going to the Arnold. Nate didn't go to the Arnold. He talked about seeing people at all the Ohio meetups and going to Kevin's house and then going to the pizza place. Nate didn't go to the pizza place.
Nope. I think
wild.
Nate is gone. I think Nate is missing, and I think Big Tom might be partially responsible or fully responsible for that. Allegedly. This is a
It has-
podcast, so we can't
yeah.
say, but allegedly.
Yeah.
I think that's worth looking at.
I mean, Orange Glaze search has not been updated in a long time. So, I
Mhm.
mean, because that's got to be done manually now since IMBD, changed their format. So, man, I don't know. And is it on our group chat? He doesn't really respond a whole lot, and when he does, it's just reacting to comments
Yep.
or going wild card exclamation point. Like I don't really know what that means.
Yeah, horns in the chat, boys. Right?
Oh yeah, I mean yeah that like I mean well for example like that last episode that he was quote unquote on, it was just fucking a soundboard. Like
Yep.
that's
And Tom
Man.
was there, so yeah,
Yeah,
I think
Tom
that
was-
there's I think we should all be looking over at Big Tom and finding out what really happened to Nate.
Man, now I've now you got me kind of worried that I keep giving Tom shit for quote unquote spoiling the results of the Arnold. I don't want to get on Tom's bad side now. He's gonna fucking whack me off next. All right. Well, that was a good theory. We'll have to. I kind of wish this was. We can kind of consider this one of our 2025 predictions. To maybe in 2026 we'll prove if Nate is or is not still alive.
Yeah, or he's just AI being controlled
Yeah.
by Big Tom.
Well, fingers crossed, because whenever we need our shit done for the podcast, I don't know if Tom can keep double dipping and doing it himself. And I don't know if I could trust AI enough to keep doing all the heavy lifting for us.
Anyway, you've got one on there. I did not watch the YouTube today. I honestly could have slept.
It was
harder.
funny. I didn't catch it at first because I was like, I looked for it at lunchtime and I was just scrolling. I fucking subbed to too many people on YouTube, but there's just so much shit in my feed. And then I wish I could take fucking shorts out of it. Like I hate fucking having to go through shorts on YouTube. But yeah, but it was funny because I literally thought they didn't post the video today because all I saw was a picture of Grant and I was like, oh, it's something from the Strength Co. And then I think when I was home just scrolling around like not that long ago actually, I was like, oh fuck, this is the Massnomics gym review. So I watched that real quick. It was good. I think the funniest part was I feel like they were in the shitter at the Strength Co. gym for like a solid 4 minutes of like a 20-minute video. So I'm like, and then like Tanner eventually was like, all right, we should probably finish this video back out on a deadlift platform, not in the shitter. But I was just like, man, Grant's just showing us they literally lifted the toilet lid to like show us the shitter. And I'm just like, man, if Grant's not on the spectrum, I don't know who is. But I mean, we all are a little bit, but I don't know. It was a good tour. It kind of makes me forget how much shit they did in California because like there's still a couple in the bank. I think maybe was that the last one? Maybe that was the last one. But I feel like we've gotten a lot of California content, and then we're gonna be getting.
That one was Carolina, wasn't it?
No. So this was in California. So this was that was part of the.
Oh,
so
okay.
Grant was living in South Carolina, semi-permanently like last year, and then when he's getting when Grant's buddy got activated again to go back on a deployment, he moved his family back to California. So he like always had a brick and mortar Strength Co gym in California, but then opened up like a little satellite gym basically in South Carolina that I'm assuming he closed when he moved back to California permanently or for the time being. But yeah, good video. I enjoyed it. Definitely, watch it if you haven't got a chance yet. And I think yep.
I thought that was the South Carolina one because he made the Gavin Newsom slight.
I don't think I caught that. What was it? Was Gavin what?
He said he had there were two Strength Co gyms, and then one of them had to close due to COVID. And he said, thanks, thanks, Newsom, or something like that.
Gotcha. I see. The other thing I have written on general topics we can move on is just the my little chirp back to Joey when he said which made me laugh and it got a lot of reactions was you had something to the extent of, hey influencers, put your shirts on, and then I just happened to have taken a shirt, like I take a shirtless photo literally once a year at the most, and it just happened to be at like the top of my camera roll, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be funny. So
yeah. So you know what Morgan did is she went back through all of my posts where I don't have a shirt on and sent them to me and told me to put a shirt on. And
good for her.
Yeah, it was. I was like,
really
you know
funny.
what? First of all, how dare you? Second of all, who do you think you are? But ultimately, it just came from like, those guys in the grocery store,
Yeah,
and they're not wearing a shirt.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
right?
obnoxious and stupid. I
They
get you.
don't have a jawline, and like they're just like the worst young 20-year-old, and they're just like mustard is killing your tests. Like, don't take this. Like, I fucking hate those guys with
Hmm.
every part of my passion. And that's when I was just like, put on a shirt. Like, don't go out and do that. Like, what's wrong with humans? Like, first of all, I'm not taking advice from some 20-year-old kid with abs on how to get strong, stay strong, and use my strength, because like, you don't have a job or a life. Calm down. Second of all, I'm not taking nutritional advice from a shirtless douchebag in a shopping center or in Costco. Like there's no reality outside of social media where that would make sense. Like, if you were genuinely shopping at Costco and you were like, oh, I'm gonna get this cereal, my kids enjoy it, and then some kid without a shirt was like, don't give this to your kids, it's full of phthalates and sugars, you'd freak out and like swing your purse at them or like report them. Like, you wouldn't just like their stuff and listen to them. And it's so stupid how stupid we've become on the internet. Anyway,
I'm so glad my feed doesn't show me like 90% of that shit. Like, I don't follow anyone that's
my feed
that I
shows me the
don't
people
like.
that rips them apart.
Yeah, okay.
But in order for those guys to exist, the first guy has to exist.
Yeah, no, that tracks.
Right?
I've followed like 200 different strongmen probably in the last year or so. So like my feed is like 60% strongman now and like 20% powerlifting and then just like family and friends the rest of it. So it's been pretty nice. It's been a nice evolution. So, but I think that'll wrap up general topics unless Zach saw something on the internet this week that we need to touch on before we get onto that ad read.
I don't think so.
All right. Well, maybe we can get Big Zach to give us an ad read.
All right. This show is brought to you by Massonomics. Picture this: silly geese stomping around with big smiles, drink spotters ensuring every drink is safe, and crew cheering on each lifter. Take your handy unit to the Lift Hard Live Easy 3 on July 19th, the ultimate event to see what happens when you lift, laugh, and honk. This event brings people from all over Western Northeast South Dakota, highlighting Brock the Rock, Menards, and air-conditioned lifting venue. While you're here, you can be a part of the real-life gym tour of the best basement gym around, take in the sights of all the flags, complete collection of Texas power bars, and if you're lucky, you might catch somebody sleeping in the squat rack. But for the love of God, do not touch any buttons on the stereo, or a passive-aggressive note will be added again. If you can't make it in July, become a supporting member. Benefits include one-time discount, early access to drops like today's, and a community of lifters that want to see everybody succeed. Thanks to the Arnold bathroom sticker creators, and we'll see you in the pre-show.
Nice. That was a good
Live,
one.
laugh, honk is good. I
lot
don't
of
know if I've
zingers.
heard that before, but live, laugh, honk is funny. Good work.
Many a zinger there. All right. Let's see. We have a big old room of people we got to kick out this week and get that guest on the horn.
I think this is the least amount of people we've had in like 3 weeks.
I know. You know how nice it's been to like not be distracted on the screen though. Like it last week was amazingly fun, but
Yeah.
God, that was overwhelming.
30 home gym nerds.
Fucking home gym nerds. Oh yeah, let's okay.
All right, you're up, Keith. Get him on the horn.
Oh, let's see. Got to kick Ryan and Carp out. Yep. Everyone's gone. Never get them all out. They got all the grease. Now it's time to get on to the guests. So, Big Zach's at you, buddy.
This is Big Zach.
Big Zach, welcome to the podcast, my friend. Big Zach Anderson, the Instagramless Big Zach Anderson.
I think I know you. I know you from my car ride to the airport.
I was going to ask, how does it feel to be one of the 3 people in the crew to have ridden in the famous freestyle?
Wait, what was I? That was a freestyle?
That was my
Yeah.
I had that in the.
That was the freestyle.
Oh, incredible! I would have never clued into that because I have no clue what I don't do cars. Exciting! Yeah. I will say it feels good. It feels good, and also getting the ride to the airport, not knowing Aberdeen and how close the airport was. Like you picked me up and it was a 3-minute drive, and I was like, I literally could have walked this, but I just didn't know how. I was already halfway there when I was at Qdoba. Like, I didn't know how far it was.
Well, and speaking of last year, I didn't mean to stir the pot so much with the Fairfield.
Oh yeah,
I was just like, oh,
yeah. Oh yeah, that
that's
was you. Yeah, you got me in some shit there.
Mhm.
And it is one of those things, like I genuinely haven't even thought about it. Like at the time it made me so mad, but then I was just like, all right, that's gone. I haven't thought about it until you tagged me, and then just everybody came at me for it. And I'm not the only one. Like it's just one of those, I know the Dammies had problems there. Trond wasn't happy. I think he said something along those lines. Murph hated it there. Like, and I was just like, yeah, it was just a customer service issue. Like there was no actual issues other than the fact that when there was issues, this girl didn't care. And everybody just, yeah, it definitely, it stirred up a lot of stuff.
Well, I think
well,
most
then I felt bad. I felt bad because Keith, you pointed out I don't have Instagram because I just found that Facebook was so negative. I just got rid of everything.
Yep.
And so to stir up some more negative stuff, I was like, oh, this was just
Nah.
supposed to be a quick little jab at
What's
Joey.
it like to have that much free time? My God, like that would give me like, well, I mean, also I couldn't post a podcast or like have 80% of the social interactions that I have that all like kind of stem from different groups and cliques and discords and niches that I'm in that all started online. So, but man, you have to have a lot of like family time that it consumes most of your day because I don't know, I would have so much extra time on my hands.
And also, it's
Yeah.
okay. Like it's fine. You brought it up, and I know it was funny that you brought it up because I was just like, yeah. And then everybody got mad at me again, and then I was like, what is happening? Like, yeah, well, it is what it is. It wasn't you didn't stir up negativity or anything.
All right, Big Zach.
No, Keith,
Number one-
the free time is being able to keep up with the Discord.
That's true.
The Massonomic Discord is an active Discord.
Yeah,
It's a very active community.
it very much is. So I guess that, I mean, that is still social media, but to an extent, people you want to be around with. Are you on other Discords or just that one?
Well, that's what's really interesting is when you talk about an active Discord, like I see some that are so active it's overbearing. Like I don't even check on them because they're not worth it. It's like the Facebook group of Home Gym Con or the Home Gym Facebook group.
Yep.
But then looking at the Barefoot Discord, and it's usually
nothing.
Joey.
It's me and Mel.
Yeah.
And Mel works for them.
But yeah.
All right, Zach. So number one question we always hit people, that you have a different perspective on this one than most. So what brought you to Massonomics, and interpret that however you want.
So I was listening to last week's, and somebody talked about how they might be the first person to have joined the crew without listening to a podcast.
Mhm.
And I can tell them that they're not the first. We may be in, or they're not the only, at least. We may be in small company. But I started lifting weights in 2020 because going down some mental health struggles, and thought that'd be a good thing to start with. Get in better shape, try to get that way. And I was at a different gym that was more commercial. And then my friend Big Jory said, hey, you should come check out Massonomics. And then because there is no day pass policy, there's no place to like drop in a day pass. You just message Tanner and he says, oh, yep, fill out the liability form and then we'll figure it out.
Mhm.
And I joined the Discord to kind of pay back that. And
Oh, nice.
as soon as my 2 years was up at the other gym, hopped over to Massonomics.
Yeah, buddy.
Sweet. So do you do YouTube then? So like, do you consume their YouTube media?
Yeah.
Okay, so like I mean, really, if you're in Discord and you're on YouTube, I don't know how, I mean, you're missing a lot from Instagram, but like not everything. So there's a ton of stuff on Discord and there's a ton of stuff on YouTube. So I think if you keep up on those, you're probably, getting an adequate amount of Massonomics.
And I think the story was
Yeah,
he wasn't doing any of that before joining the gym.
Yeah.
Right? Is that what I'm reading?
Right. Yep. Because I listened to the podcast after Big Jory told me, he's like, yeah, these guys that own it have a pretty successful podcast. It's like, what? No. It's in Aberdeen. That's not right.
They haven't even been in Aberdeen Magazine. There's no way they're profitable.
Damn it, you beat me to it.
All right. So you I mean, you're not on Instagram, so we can't ask you your Instagram.
Oh, he's got a what's
Yeah.
your Discord there, just in case anybody wants to chat with you and slide into the old Discord DMs.
It's Big Zach, but I think the actual handle is Viva La Goat Cheese.
What?
Alrighty then.
It's one of those dumb things when you're in high school and you're like, okay, I got to think of something, a unique gamer tag. And so I was like,
Yeah. I keep forgetting people like have had Discord for like a decade. If they're like gamers and shit, then like
Yeah.
wasn't like so many of us that joined Discord when they heard about Massonomics having one.
Well, that's what I think is really interesting about the internet is that like when it first started, it was don't put your stuff out there.
Mhm.
Your email address can't have anything that relates to you, so nobody can tie you back. And now all of 4 of my email addresses are my name at gmail.com.
Yep.
Yeah,
Of some variation.
indeed. So are you a Aberdeen native or of what where you from, where you live, etc.?
So I am originally from the Nebraska side of Sioux
Oh.
City, which is about an hour south of Crew Falls. And then came
So
to
there's a
Western
Sioux
North.
City and a Sioux. That's what. So there's an actual town called Sioux City.
Yep.
That's weird. That's interesting.
What is going on?
And it's in Iowa.
What's going on under your desk there?
I'm gonna say he's scratching his leg or he's got a dog.
Cat.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was hoping that's what it was.
That's
Yes.
better. That's better.
I left it
Gosh.
open yesterday. They were up
That's
here.
better.
So that's why I left this open so Joey could see it, hoping that he'd call it out.
Oh.
And then I kept seeing you reach under, and I was like, "Oh, there's a pet under there for sure."
That or he's really itchy.
Yeah, no, I didn't believe that for a second. That was definitely caring for something. Well, you just tell your cats I said. Pss, 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 pss.
So you've been. This was 2020-ish that you first kind of found Massonomics. Then sounds like you might not have joined the gym till a little later, but you were at least like they were in your on your radar. So you've been around long enough to see a lot of merch come and go. So what's that one thing that you wish you had gotten?
I was thinking of that the other day because you guys have asked it for most podcast guests, and I was trying to think of it. And the luxury of being at the gym, and I don't know who it is. I'm going to call it the merch fairy.
Oh
Because somebody outgrew their shirts.
Yeah, you got all Tommy's old shit when he moved. Tommy,
Yeah.
he left like 100 shirts when he left.
Well, and I was going to say, being one of the smaller, which is still a relative term for Massonomics, I'm not competing with many of the guys for those shirts that Tommy's outgrown.
So nothing sticks out. Nothing that you see and you man, that'd be nice to have in my size.
No, because the one that I would say was when I first listened to, I think it was Big Grayson's podcast that you guys interviewed him, and I heard the question. It was the black on black.
Mhm.
And then I don't know what happened. It showed up. So I actually have that shirt.
Well, this is the first. He's so spoiled that he can't answer the question. So I guess we gotta just. That's. I mean, I don't know if we can air this podcast with that answer, but we'll run with it. Do you get a Hall of Fame status there?
I don't have it yet. I'm working my way.
Yeah, like in general, where so the staff. I guess the question.
So how many checks do you have on your Hall of Fame?
There you go. Yeah, that's what.
Gotcha. This makes 9.
Okay.
Oh, getting there.
Well, you got to get to Crew Falls this winter. That should be an easy one for you. You're 3.5 hours, and hang out with some homies and get another check mark.
I've wanted to go to Crew Falls the last 2 years, and my daughter's birthday is that weekend.
Yeah, and it's probably going to be the same weekend every year because it's kind of like it has to be a little bit past Thanksgiving and definitely before Christmas.
But my birthday is that weekend, and I pulled it off. So I think you should just bring your daughter.
I don't think the 3-year-old or the 1-year-old would be going with.
Yeah.
What are some other realistic ones then that you think you can get? Well, because you're going to be competing this year, so that's one, right?
Yep, I was trying to get through the loophole, and Tanner closed my loophole that I've been a part of the Lift Hard, Live Easy.
Yeah, that does not count. There's competing and then attending 2 different things for sure.
Well, and that was actually wrote that note down because I was the interesting thing with this is with Massonomics and Discord is that it reminds me of the old AOL chat rooms.
Mm-hmm.
And just like I was talking about, like in the old days, don't talk to people on the internet. Don't go see them. And not knowing who Joey was, just seeing his name in the Discord, and then the one guy wearing a kilt for the Lift Hard, Live Easy one, I was like, know exactly who that is.
That's funny. Yeah, you definitely have a different perspective than most people. Like not having Like it's one thing to just not be friends with someone on Instagram because you haven't come across them yet. It's another thing to just not have Instagram and like not see people just post shit for 3 years straight and then meet them in person. So I
Yep.
could definitely see you being a little more timid when you're meeting people because it's like I have no concept of who you are because you might not post in Discord ever, and if you do, you're literally one of 500 people that post. So we know you don't have I'm assuming you don't have a certified training facility since you mentioned in the pre-show you don't have a home gym.
I do not. I have
I
some
think
dumbbells, but I wouldn't call it a.
he's got the training facility. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be seeking out the certified if you're literally lifting at the Mecca.
Indeed. Are you sure what your do you know what your sporting membership number is? You want to flaunt that to people?
Could have sworn it was 62. I
That's
can't
all right.
find my gold card right now.
Yeah. That means that's early. I think you eclipsed Joe, at least me. I think Joey's right around there, aren't you? Or you're before that? I don't remember. I think I'm in the 70s now. I don't really know. I can't keep track of it.
As of gold card release, I'm 47.
Okay, maybe I'm in the 60s too. Then
I still might have something on Joey though, because I actually have the patch. I don't have a tattoo, but I've got the patch.
I have the patch and the tattoo. I just was too impatient for the patch. And needles don't scare me. It was, again, like I had the opportunity to do something hilarious. And I did.
Nice. So this has been one of my more favorite questions as of late. How'd you explain to anyone what podcast you were going on, and how did that go over?
Oh, so the one person that turned it in was Big Jory, and so he knew exactly what was going on.
Yep.
I sent it to wife, who was first of all like, "You want me to fill out what now?" And then I don't know if she actually turned anything in or not, but she said she would, and then it cut out, and it wouldn't.
Yeah, we got a small amount of information from her. Yeah.
Oh, and so she was talking to her. I said that it's a podcast from a couple of guys, not from the gym, but about the gym.
Okay.
She's like,
essentially.
oh, okay.
Yeah, nerds. That's what she was thinking. Oh, okay.
Gym nerds.
Nerds.
Good. I always like hearing different perspectives of how some people just don't even try to explain it, and other people have to give them the whole scheme. Do you want to do yours before I do mine? I've been talking a lot here.
Yeah. It's something that I've been, trying to ask everybody, and it's just been such a crazy couple of weeks. So I understand your first competition is coming up in July?
Yes.
Yes. If you could have any person from history, current time, dead, alive, don't know them personally, do know them personally, be the person to hype you up for your third lift, whichever lift it is that you think is your favorite, who would that person be?
Oh, that is a good question.
Yeah, I've only been able to ask 2 people so far, and I think I'm going to ask everybody this.
Yeah, I'm going to add it to our blank show docs actually right now.
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't know, because I'm not a big back slapper. So watching those
either.
people,
Like, don't hit me. But imagine there was one person that was just whether they're yelling at you or just talking to you, that you're like, for you, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna kill this lift.
It's probably going to be a homer pick, but I'd probably say Big Rossmore.
That'll do.
From the gym.
Yep, Big Matt Rossmore.
Because Big Jory and I find out that it actually happened yesterday or the other day that mid getting ready, you get underneath the bar and then you make a joke, so it throws off your focus, and I'm almost certain that's what would happen.
Yeah, I had that exact same thing happen a couple times this weekend, in the last week. When I had Chad and Chris over, Chad said something funny right before I was about ready to do the grip thing, and I just couldn't fucking refocus. So then I had to pay him back, and I said something really stupid, right when he was getting ready to go for a big lift. And then I think it happened over the weekend at the Strongman Saturday too. Somebody said something just stupid and asinine, right before someone was about to do a big lift, and I was like, oh, it really does fuck people up, especially if it's a big lift. We should probably limit that.
I remember the one time I had Morgan come down to spot me on a bench that I was nervous about. And I was like, literally, your job is don't let me die. That's all. If I suddenly can't push it up, you just need to grab it and I'll do most of the lifting. You just need to make sure it doesn't fall on my face. And I get in there, I get position, I get all comfortable, and she literally goes, boop, on my forehead. And I was like, get out of my fucking gym. Like, I was like, get out. Like, how dare you? Right? Like,
that would be pretty rough.
Oh, mad. But again, I work out alone most of the time. So I just like, I don't have those distractions. So she felt pretty bad. I ended up making the lift, but either way, yeah. I hear ya. All right, go ahead, Keith.
Quick follow up there on Mount Rossmore. Is he the one that helped get you a new car after you turned in the freestyle?
He is.
Nice.
Yeah. So
nice. I figured he's the. I hope he is the crew go-to car salesman in Aberdeen.
I would say, I suppose that then, Joey, that makes you one of 4, because I forgot Big Ross is in the Discord.
Yeah, he finally joined last year, maybe.
Because it was I took the freestyle over to where he works, Lost Automotive, and then he drove the freestyle to Tanner's house, so that Tanner and Jack could test drive it and make sure they wanted to have it.
Nice.
But so he's been in it too.
Good deal. All right, so next question here we got.
I can't believe I never made that connection. That's fucking hilarious.
It's funny. You must, because I actually added it to the show notes later because I had you and I both had some Zach interactions at Lift Hard Live Easy, and then I was like, Joey rode in his car freestyle ? And I was waiting to get to that, but it kind of worked out great that he brought it up. So good stuff. I still don't think I've ever seen it. Like, I need to like study what I've seen it in like the pictures in Discord, but like I still don't think I've ever seen a freestyle in my life. It just wasn't a car that ever existed when I was young enough to care about cars. And then I think when it did exist, like I didn't give a fuck. I just, I don't know.
Have you ever seen a Ford Flex?
No. I've never even heard of that car.
No, that's a got to be Midwest only.
Because it's the freestyle was replaced by the Ford Flex, but it's just like to me, it looks like a long box on wheels.
Gotcha. Yeah, man, I've driven the same car for almost 20 years. Well, damn near over 16, 17 years. So I got...
So what's older, the laptop or the car?
The laptop was technically louder the other day before it quieted back down. All right, let's get big Zach, but I gotta get you back on focus here. So we got a game we like to play. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. So it is called Least Fun, Most Fun. I'm going to give you a topic, and I need you to kind of basically say the best part about it and the worst part about it. So least fun, most fun, performing the national anthem at a powerlifting meet.
The least fun is that I have stage fright.
Oh, okay.
And so, like, the first time I did it, when it was just the group of people for testing it, and somebody commented, like, oh, that was a really good vibrato. And I was like, yeah, it definitely wasn't me just shaking. We'll just call it vibrato.
I meant to do that. Also, can I hold on? Somebody actually said to you, hey, I really like your vibrato.
Well, they were like, yeah, it sounded really good with it. Well, it was Jory.
Oh, so okay. Because I was gonna say, like, that's something I would say just to be like sound like a nerd. So I'm glad it was somebody that was close to you. Like, imagine. Sorry, go ahead with your most fun.
The most fun is just, I'd never done it before. And I know I've shared this with Big Tanner because it was funny to me. He said, when he asked about it, he said that Tommy texted him like a day or two later, and he's like, can he actually sing? And Tanner's like, I don't know, but he's from town. So he's either going to make an ass of himself or he can actually do it. So,
and the price is right.
But for me, the most fun is just doing it. It's something that I thought about hoping I could do in college because I'd seen classmates of mine do it and never had the opportunity. So,
So are you going to do the Canadian national anthem at the next one?
I screenshotted Scant's response when I first did it, and I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, but it was something like just say, oh, Canada, and just stick on those notes and call it a day.
Yeah, you don't have to do the bilingual one.
Good stuff. All right. Well, we can kind of get into the meat and potatoes now if you want. We always let people talk about their job for a minute or two if they want, but they don't have to. It's entirely up to you. It gives people some kind of common ground if they, but it's up to you.
Yeah. Well, it's always funny to me listening to Tanner because he works in the finance part, but not for a bank. And I work for a bank, but not in the finance part. So I work.
That is kind of funny.
I work in an internal audit, but we do procedural audits. So when people typically hear it, they're like, "Oh, so you must know numbers and CPA." And I was like, "Nope, absolutely hated accounting."
Yep.
And
Nice.
so that's what I do on a good day. I try to dabble here and there. Like I tried to do some IT stuff, trying to get into that world, but also I like my job enough that I'm not in a huge rush to find something else.
Hmm. And there are, from what I recall, there's about 70 banks in Aberdeen, and they all look like 2-story massive buildings. It always stuck out to me. It's like, why is this bank like 3 stories tall? I've never seen that. I don't know. We just have different chain banks, or maybe they're all mom and pop banks, just like mom and pop Korean foods. Apparently, I can't believe that's what someone picked up and ran with last week. I was like, what the fuck, guys? Like, it's like I didn't say it. Chris did. I'm like whatever. But
It was Matt. He's gonna
yeah,
find the
it
most
was Matt.
random thing and just like go after you for it.
Last week's episode was really fun. I really had a good time. There was so much good content that came from that.
Well, like Morgan was saying, you guys thought it would be funny, but it just was everybody being sappy.
There was a
Right?
decent amount of that.
Yeah, there was a decent amount of sap on that episode, and I'm not complaining. It was a great episode, but yeah, I thought she was just like, I was ready to laugh, and instead, like, ready to cry. I'm like,
Paul got me. Paul got me in the feels.
Yeah, everybody had something to add, and it was definitely an interesting episode. Why do they call you Moon Boots? Or do they call you Moon Boots?
So when I was in high school, I had
Just another mooning story.
No, it's not a mooning story.
We've had a fair amount of mooning stories lately.
My son walked in and he's just looking and he's like, "What's going on? You want to say hi?"
Hi.
Hey, buddy.
No, that's right.
I
mean, he can hang out. We just won't be able to hear him.
I was gonna say you can't hear anything, so it's just me talking.
That is got to be an awkward thing for the kids. Like, why is Dad in the spare bedroom just talking for 2 hours? I don't understand.
Oh yeah, I do calls twice a week in this, and then I do the podcast, and the kids come in and they're just like looking at the computer screen. I was like, no, buddy, they can't hear you. You can't hear them.
Moon boots. I had some high top cleats when I played football, and because they were on clearance, they were 2 sizes too big. Mm-hmm. And so there was size 15 shoes, and I'm not a big statured person, so they just looked like moon boots.
It's funny.
All right. Is that better than Shaboot? Shaboot.
He might not. Yeah, it was on Discord enough. He probably knows what that is. So you still are you you're a morning lifter? It seems like. So what's the morning crowd look like at the gym? And how is training at the morning, like training in the morning? Like what time are we talking? I'm talking like 5 a.m. or 6 a.m.
And
like
was that you that stormed in when everybody was sleeping in the gym?
Oh yeah, and turn the lights on Saturday morning at like 6 o'clock.
It wasn't me that turned on the lights, but I was definitely there.
That had to be an experience because no, I don't think Tanner didn't like warn you anybody in a group chat or anything, did he?
Nope. Well, and it was one of the best parts about Massonomics is that there's no rules. So my son was with me that morning, so it was 6 o'clock, and we went in there, and my son was like, "Oh, there's nobody that's going to be here, so we can play the stereo." I go in there, turn on the light, and go, "Whoop, never mind, turn that back off."
It's so nice of you, but it's your gym. You should have bothered them. Like,
yeah, I'd be like,
well,
all right,
you're those guys.
We're not just gonna do bodybuilding stuff up front. We need the power rack, damn it. Get out of the way, boss man. Wake up.
Well, and that was what kind of funny is it was in the back. They were sleeping in the back part, so we were in the front, and I was doing hack squat, and so I did it, and then my son's like, "Can I try that?" Yeah. As Big Lou walks out to go take a piss, and so he walks through and then comes back, and my son got trapped underneath at the bottom, but he wasn't moving, so I wasn't like trying to catch it for him.
Yeah. And
I was like, "You got to do something, bud." And then I don't remember what Lou said, but Lou had some comment for him. It just made me laugh.
That's really funny.
But
Lou all hungover coming out.
Hell, he was probably still drunk at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
I doubt he was hungover by then.
But yeah, it's usually 5 a.m. And depending on the day, it's usually me, Jory, Ross, and then there's a guy who has no idea what Massonomics podcast is that's there. He came to the gym because
Larry?
the why.
Nah.
Who? No, not Larry.
Larry knows a little bit.
Yeah. At this rate, he better. So
Which-
that's the morning crew, right?
For the most part. And what's really funny is that you get used to your people. And so then when
Mhm.
somebody else comes in, because recently there's been a group of 3 guys that have been coming in, and one of them's a high school kid that's practicing for football, and somebody's training him. And if I had to guess, it's his dad there. And it's just like, okay, you guys are kind of in my way. I guess I'll find something else to do today.
That's good stuff. No, that is kind of, I mean, it's a decent sized gym, but yeah, if there's like 15 people in there at the same time, that's definitely going to not have your 100% choice of where you can go and do stuff. So, but yeah, that's good stuff. Definitely, you probably couldn't ever go back to a commercial gym at this point, could you? Like, or would be very uncomfortable and not as satisfying.
Yeah, I have for a few road trips back to Sioux City and Omaha, and it's like there's 13 people in the gym, and I'm like, this is crowded. I don't want to deal with this.
I would never.
Nice. So with doing your first meet, are you actually on the Jug app or someone coaching you, or what are you doing? How are you prepping for your first strongman meet, or sorry, your first powerlifting meet?
So I was gonna get on Jug, and then it seems like every time I go to think about getting on it, I get hurt. Like not actually hurt, I just get sore, and it's so I'm like, I don't know, I don't want to do it. I don't want to spend the money on it and then not be able to do what it's to.
Juggernaut will get you through that. I'll be honest with you.
Oh,
yeah.
So
if you want any Juggernaut advice, I can help. And it is one of those ones where, like, if you're honest with your feedback, it will get you through that soreness. It will adapt whatever you're doing, and it'll like lower your weights or lower your reps or even eliminate some of them. It definitely that should not have been the thing that stopped you from joining Jug. The money, maybe based on what we hear about you, might have been the one.
Cheap ass.
well, and that's probably the real answer is that I just don't want to pay for it.
No, I don't.
I feel yeah. So then, what do you do for training? Like I guess that someone is like I've worked with a coach and like someone's dictated what I've done in the gym for the last like 7 years. So it's like I don't know what it would be like just going and fuck off. Like I would hurt myself or I would do nothing. Like and like there's no in between.
So usually, I've done like before I came to Massonomics and before I was getting into trying to do a meet, I was following different programs online. Like I bought Jeff Nippard's program, who's a Canadian, but he's got some programs that I've bought of his. So I've used those, and then building into this, I just knew you had to squat, bench, and deadlift. So I tried to do squat and bench one day, and then deadlift the next with some other back exercises, and switch it around and fit those in.
We'll get you there. Well, that'll be fun. Looking forward to seeing you on the platform, and there's plenty of. I mean, you've had a wealth of resources there to ask advice, and you just open light and don't fuck. You're gonna miss some commands, so open light enough to where you can overcome that and not bomb out because no one wants to bomb out their first meet. That's my only advice. Just don't bomb out. So whatever you got to do to open light enough to get some white lights.
When I was just kind of doing my own thing and dicking around just to start to get strong, I did like a 5-3-1 variation. Right? It was the only thing I even knew about. Alistair Black, a wrestler, he actually responded to one of my tweets. And I was like, I'm just at the gym doing this in my Alistair Black shirt. And then he was like, do 5-3-1. It's the best way to get started. And I was like, well, if he says so, I'm going to start. And that was back when I still had Twitter. So how much cardio is involved maybe in this programming that you're doing?
Very little. I've started to try to ruck more, just with a weighted vest and walk around the neighborhood kind of thing. But my wife and I take opposite mornings, so that's why I do the morning crew, is because she goes to works at Menards on the days that I don't go to the gym. So trying to find time away from the kids and go for a walk is tough, but that's really what it is right now.
I mean, with all those mosquitoes, I can imagine it was definitely a tough walk. I don't think I could walk in South Dakota for 6 months out of the year when the mosquitoes are out.
Any chance of rocking with the power pole or?
Yeah, Eddie might be bringing those out at some point.
I'll say I should ask Tanner. I haven't seen it at the gym yet. So
Yeah, no, it won't be there till Lift Hard. I think Eddie's literally going to drive it out. I believe, like it's in Eddie's possession because I saw him
oh,
get it.
okay.
He got it from the skateboard kid. I can't think of his name.
Mikey.
Mikey maybe. Yeah, so then they're sitting in Pennsylvania at the moment waiting.
But how do I know an internet person and you don't?
I said his
That was
name,
quick.
and
That was
Mikey.
a little too quick for me. Gotta get off the internet.
So I think you're probably the first crew that's had this hobby, jokingly, woodworking. There's been a lot of woodworking crew members. Anything you like? Is that just more of a hobby? Is it something you actually do some side hustle with, or something you just kind of enjoy, just using a table saw and whatnot?
Yep. Mostly goes to the cheapness. I mean, all of it just kind of ties back together. That
out there making your own stall mat coasters.
not quite that far, but I don't know if I didn't even try to make one out of wood. I didn't think of that. But usually it's I don't want to pay for that, or it's in the wrong shape or size. So trying to get, like, our son, we redecorated his bedroom for his birthday, and my wife's like, they come in a 3-shelf bookshelf or a 5-shelf, but I want a 4-shelf. I was like, well, we have all the stuff to just build one. Oh, but who's going to have time to do that?
Time, it's always elusive. That's
Well, I know. I don't know if it was last week or 2 weeks ago. The question was who would last longer in the other person's life between the two of you.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And I would agree that I don't know what it would be like without my kids, and I miss my kids after so long. But anybody that doesn't have kids, I just say it's the volume.
I couldn't do it.
It's constant.
So this week at work, we're going into apartments doing like service work and whatnot, and we're working with the property representative, and so they're kind of double dipping on our entrance and like doing a smoke alarm check. So the asshole goes through and hits like the smoke alarm and the carbon monoxide all the alarms, and it's getting to the point now we just stay outside till he's done, because sometimes they'll go off for like 3 minutes. Where it's like I can't be in there for 3 weeks straight while you're doing the smoke alarms, because it's giving me a fucking migraine. So yeah, noise and me, not copacetic.
Copacetic.
Was that the right word? I think it was
Close. It was
close.
It's copacetic.
Yeah. So beer league softball, is that something you're still doing?
It is. Just started last week, actually.
Yeah. Anybody, any crew or gym members in that with you?
The guy that goes in the mornings with us is a beer league softball, but he's a much more competitive person than I am.
Yep.
Yeah, there's different levels, and like mine is, I'm out there to drink, and there happens to be a game that's being played.
Yep.
And that's one. The fun part now is that you go to the gym and you're like, oh, okay, it hurts from squats or it hurts from deadlift, and then you go, oh, now it hurts somewhere else because I had to go run, and that's not what I'm used to doing.
How long is that gonna? I mean, granted, you don't necessarily have to be close or careful, but like if that's, I definitely wouldn't want to be playing a softball game like 2 days before a powerlifting meet. So have you seen like how far your schedule goes out for the baseball?
Oh yeah, it goes out. It'll go all the way through August.
Oh, so yeah, you might have to be a designated hitter 1 week or something, because like I definitely wouldn't recommend trying to steal a base like the 2 days before the meet or anything stupid like that. Nor heavily drinking too much, but to each their own.
It's funny you say that, because I'm actually the designated runner most of the time, because a lot of the guys on our team. So I am on a team that it's a bunch of guys in their 50s or 60s, and their kids. Okay. So it's their boys that are playing with. So I'm the only one in their 30s. And so usually it's like, okay, well, I'm here to drink. And if there happens to be some softball played, that's fine. So I have no problem riding the bench and just going and doing designated runner. So there's a lot of times that that's what I'm there for.
So yes to cardio is what you're saying.
That's the only cardio, though.
It's once a year I do cardio.
It's once a week, and then kind of at 30-second bursts, and that's about it.
That's all I need.
I'll call it HIIT.
What is butt foot laundry shoot Batman? What is that?
Oh, so this is one that I thought my friends would get a kick out of. So when I was in, I think it was first grade, we had a laundry chute in our house. It was a 3-story house, and this laundry chute was on the top floor. And my brother and I were looking down it and go, I wonder if we could slide down that.
Oh.
So actually, these are two different stories. So this is the laundry chute one. We tested it with stuffed animals because, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so they made it fine. And so the story that I hear is that I know that I'd climbed in it with my brother's help, but from my mom's perspective, she just heard screaming in the basement and then footsteps flying down the stairs to see what happened. But so that's why. And then while I was doing it, my brother and I were like, oh, he was pretending to be Batman. I had a blanket tied around my neck, had a gun, like a pretend gun for the
grappling hook. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that story. And the other story is, it was funny with Keith saying barefoot. On my left foot, when I was a year old, I dropped an iron on my foot.
Ooh.
And so at that age, there's not a whole lot of places that you can get skin from to do a skin graft.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's on my butt. So there's a matching Band-Aid looking thing on my butt cheek that matches the one that's on my foot.
Oh, butt foot. Yep.
Damn, that had to hurt. Like that was that. What degree burn was that? That it was at a second, or I mean, I guess like to be that bad of a thing that you had to get a skin graft. Damn, that's.
I was a year old, so I couldn't even tell you.
Okay. So yeah, at that point, Jesus, that would be fucking. God, what the put that? How did what? That's horrible. That was that. The amount of shrieking I can imagine a 1-year-old doing with that much excruciating pain and that smell that your parents had, like the burning flesh of your child. That'd be horrible.
I can't.
Ugh. Yeah.
I hadn't thought of it that way before, Keith. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Just traumatizing your parents, bud.
Keep bringing it. Oh yeah, his poor parents.
Yeah. As the 1-year-old has no memory of it. So his parents are the one that were traumatized.
It sounds like you just get hurt a lot.
I did.
Yeah. So you've got part of your shin on your heel.
So that's from the laundry chute. When I did it, I landed at the bottom and it was just a concrete floor.
Of course, because it's a laundry chute. Yeah.
Yep. And so it shattered my heel.
Jeez.
And so they took a piece of the front of that shin and put it into my ankle bone.
Okay.
And so the heel, not the ankle, the heel. So there's a spot on my heel that you can see where it took it from my shin and put it in there.
Okay. And your nose?
This one's a dumb story.
Oh, the other ones weren't?
This one's dumber.
Okay.
So at our high school, there was this like mound that had a retaining wall on it. And being in middle school, you're like, oh, cool. I'm going to take my bike and jump off that.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a pretty good, probably 5-foot drop to jump your bike off of. I didn't pull up on my handlebars. So it was just the bike going like this and then my nose catching the handlebars. So it's broken right here. And the funny part about that is my brother broke his nose from catching a baseball. Somebody from the outfield was throwing it into third base and it hit him straight in the face. And somebody told my mom, yeah, your boys look exactly alike. They've got the same nose and everything. She's like, they do, but not biologically.
Not on purpose. So why can't you feel the back of your head?
So the official term is a C2 ganglionectomy.
Okay.
So when all through high school, I had migraines that just like it was a constant subtle headache, and then it periodically just peak and get really out of control. And what they found was that on the C2 vertebrae, the 2 nerves on either side were inflamed. And so I went in and they did some type of an injection. And as awesome as it is to be an 18-year-old bawling in the doctor's office because it hurt so bad, they're like, yeah, this is supposed to be relieving. So they just took it out. So then like where the base of my skull starts to where my cowlick is, it's just all like when your hand falls asleep. It's like the back of my head stranger.
Ugh.
That's
My hands fall
interesting.
asleep every day, so I can't imagine that.
The funny thing that my wife did, or she wasn't my wife at the time, but we were going to like my niece's or my cousin's graduation, and I was sitting in the front seat, and I can't feel it. So she's just sitting in the back seat, like playing at the back of my hair, waiting for me to find out. I was like, this isn't fun for me.
Thank you for that, but this is not fun for me.
Or I was crawling under my coffee table at my mom's house, and she had a puppy. So he had his paws on my shoulders, just jumped on my back and had his paws on my shoulders and was yanking on my hair. And I couldn't feel it, but my head just kept moving. And so I was like, this isn't fun for me. Get off.
I've got more, but if Keith, you want to interject with anything?
No, I was just adding a couple things for later on, but
what is this dance you did at your friend's wedding that you weren't supposed to be in?
Oh, I forgot about that. So that's Big Jory's wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as we got to the reception, the alcohol was flowing. I was sober enough by the time it was over that I was able to drive. But it was apparently supposed to be just a family wedding dance of the bride's side. So the side that I don't know. And it was supposed to be just her family doing, I don't even remember what dance it was.
We'll say
But
the Macarena just for
for
expedience sake.
Macarena.
I swear somebody said, "Hey, come up here." And so I joined in with this family dance of people that I had no idea who they are.
That's so awkward. That's funny.
The part that goes along with it even further is that spouse's aunt is the director of my HR team.
I don't
so it's
suppose.
When you just go, oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't suppose that plays into anything though. Right? Yeah, you get a write up, you get sat down at HR, and they're like, by the way, remember that time? This has been a pattern for you, Zach. Do you remember the wedding?
You jumped in on a team meeting that you weren't supposed to be on. You jumped in a dance you weren't supposed to be on.
Well, speaking of patterns, so how often do you and Jory wear the same clothes in the morning?
It was one of those. I walked in and I go, "Huh, you're wearing those shorts," and I was wearing a sweatshirt at the time. And I go, "You're wearing the same shirt I'm wearing. I'm going to keep my sweatshirt on because Ross is going to give us so much shit if he finds out that we're wearing the same thing."
That is.
But then he has the band Lift sweatshirt as well. Mm-hmm. And there's been several times that he has worn it to my house and giggled to his wife because he knew that I was going to be wearing it as well.
Mm.
That's one I wish I had got.
So those are the ones that we intentionally wear them. But the one that stuck out was, I think it was a few weeks ago. He was wearing the blue shorts and the bench heavy shirt. No, the 315 shirt. And I was like, oh, I'm wearing the exact same thing you are.
That's really funny.
But Keith, he does not have the curls shorts, so.
Oh, yeah. That we did a little trade and we did a little wheeling and dealing. So I've got a little first-hand experience with Zach. We did a little Discord trade. I think I had it was the curls because I think they were mediums. So they were just too snug for me, I believe. So we traded. That's where I got my large deadlifter shorts from. And then you also hooked me up. He brought a screwdriver for me to use at Lift Hard Live Easy 1 because I had a lever belt that I needed to adjust mid-meet. And I was like, I am not traveling with a fucking screwdriver. Like, I'm not going to try to put a screwdriver in my carry-on. And I'm not going to try to buy a plastic screwdriver on Amazon and hope TSA doesn't steal it. So I was like, someone in Aberdeen has to have a screwdriver. And then no one was volunteering. And then Zach slid in the DMs and I was like, yes, thank you. That would be much appreciated. So it still was very much appreciated.
It sounds like Zach is a bit of the behind-the-scenes savior of the Live Hard, Live Easy in some sorts, right? Like getting me to the airport, getting you that. That's a good role to have.
Well, I don't remember what it was, but last year Big Jake had forgotten something, and he's
like, "Jack, you had to go get the deadlift."
Oh, that's what it was.
That's what it was. Yeah.
And he's like, "I can't really explain where it's at to anybody who's not a Massonomics gym member. So if you could just run and get that quick."
I remember hearing that one.
All right. Do you want to do some games there, Keith? We are rolling
Yeah.
into an hour and a half.
Yeah, let's do a little FMK. So I actually got a little insight from Tanner. I knew what I wanted the topic to be, but I would figure it'd be better to get specifics from him because he knows you better than I do as far as like your lifting prowess at Massonomics Gym. So there's gonna be a topic of Massonomics Gym pieces of equipment. So you got to FMK them. So you got to F one, you got to marry one, you got to kill one. So we're gonna go 3 pieces of Massonomics Gym equipment that you should be familiar with. So FMK, cable crossover, lat pull down, the Arsenal row machine, FMK.
Oh,
Crossover, pull down, row machine.
so I would marry the Arsenal, as since he's gotten that thing.
Oh, wow.
I think I've tried it every time. It's
That's okay.
super nice. I'd probably kill the lat pull down
Gotcha.
because I think I've used the crossover several times to just use that for single arm pull downs.
hmm
So I think that's how I would do it.
Okay. I dig it. I dig it. Yeah, I figured getting it from Tanner would be a little bit easier than me just being like, I don't know. Like, I know what machines they have, but like, I don't know. So he came in clutch with that.
If Tanner could marry a new leg extension, I would appreciate that.
Oh, what do you guys have there now? Just like a shitty one or something?
It's
I'm
I
trying to
think
remember.
I think it's gym original to when they were in like the
Gotcha.
dirt basement one.
For the quad
And
extension.
yeah,
Hmm.
even if he could just replace the pad, I think it would be a lot better. But
Okay. Well,
just that one's
he does listen, so you know. Is there a suggestion box at all, or is it literally just like? And I'm just curious about how like a lot of that inner workings
No,
goes.
you have to leave passive aggressive notes for
Yeah,
Tanner.
yeah. That is funny stuff.
Yeah, like just write on the pad, like, please replace me, and just like write that note and leave it there.
Are you guys
so,
good? Yep. Sorry. Go ahead.
well, I was gonna say what I've done. I have no problems talking to anybody. So like we got a tib bar that you do for the tibialis on the front of your shin.
I really like that exercise.
And one of the guys that was at the gym, he's like, gosh, I really wish we had this thing. And so I just messaged Tanner. I was like, hey, is there a chance we could get something like this? He's like, well, how much is it? I was like, I don't know. This one I found from the tib guy is $100. And he's like, yeah, we'll probably get that soon then. But when
That's
talking
actually
to
really
him,
cool. You don't like that's such a rare, like you don't get that in like I know of one other gym where like but it's a lot bigger like scale gym but like no other gym do I know where like they actually like immediately respond to stuff like that. That's wild. That's all like
Yeah.
really a luxury.
well, and it was, so when the stereo went out, that was a big conversation because Tanner was talking about somebody coming in and redoing the whole thing and making it really, really nice. And he's like, but they're going to charge $5,000. And do I want to spend 2 rhinos? And that's where his mind was at. He's like, I can get this equipment for that price. And so I think that's where a lot of his philosophy goes in, is like, where can I get the best bang for my buck, as well as where am I going to put X machine when it gets here?
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's something that's a super crazy deal, like the hack squat for $100. He's like, yeah, we'll figure out somewhere to put it.
Still can't believe they got that hack squat for $100. That's wild.
Or the Smith machine, I couldn't tell you how much he paid for it, but he's just like,
It's
yep,
like 200
we'll
bucks
find
for
somewhere.
something stupid. Yeah, it's like $300 maybe.
It is getting filled with stickers.
Yeah. We'll
Can
have
attest to that.
Oh, I gotta send out so many stickers.
I do have a story for you though, Big Joey.
Mhm.
Somebody saw your DILF dungeon for Big Jory. I think it was at the library.
What?
Because he's the librarian,
Yeah.
and he had your sticker on his desk. And I think somebody's asking him questions.
That's pretty funny.
It's a dad I'd like to follow.
Quiet, please.
Yeah. That's pretty funny. I want to know how he explained it. Like, that would be so funny to me.
I was because my wife looked at it and she goes, "What is this?" I was like, "It's a sticker from one of the guys from the meet this weekend." She goes, "Oh, okay," and he just went on.
Yeah. All it is we just build strong dads. That's all we're doing. We're just we're building trophy husbands down here. All right. My Mount Rushmore is pretty straightforward. Like I said, Mount Rushmore is your top 4, plus you have an alien face if you want to add the alien face. We're gonna go with Mountain Dew flavor.
Ooh. For sure, Livewire.
Mhm.
That's my favorite.
To the blue one? I don't remember.
That's the orange one.
Oh, I don't think I've had
Come
an orange
on,
Mountain Dew.
Keith.
I've not even ever seen an orange Mountain Dew. I have to try that now.
I'm sure you'd have a case if
But
you did.
it better, if it's not in diet, I'm not going to try it though. So
Yeah.
I'll stick to Diet Mountain Dew, like once a month.
Gosh, I'm trying to think because
You've got your Voltage, your Baja Blast, your Code Reds.
the original Game Fuel has got to be up on mine.
Mm-hmm.
Mountain Dew Game Fuel, Code Red. You might know this then, Big Joey. Is there a or Keith? Is there a diet Code Red? My wife swears that there was a diet Code Red at some time.
It sounds like something I would have seen and dismissed. So like I wouldn't register it to my memory.
Gotcha.
But like when you bring it up, my brain wants to say, yes, you've seen this in real life. But I don't typically drink Mountain Dew, so again, I would look at it and go, "Oh, it's in diet now," and then just move on.
Yeah.
There's some. It comes in a 0, and not necessarily. So there's some older pictures that says diet too. So
okay.
It might be kind of like how we had the what was it, Diet Sprite? That the Diet Sprite doesn't exist anymore, but it definitely did when I was a kid, and now it's Diet Zero. So, but yeah, I'm seeing a lot of on Google Images. There's a decent amount of Diet Code Red, and then
there you go.
Zero Code Red. So yeah, at some point, I don't know if it's currently, but yeah, it has existed.
So I'd say Code Red's probably 3, and then my fourth one would be Baja Blast, but it's the Mountain Dew's hard Mountain Dew. They just got that at the softball fields, and I had too many of those on Monday.
Oh, there's an alcohol Mountain Dew now too. Like it's
yes,
seltzer or something. Interesting.
Yeah, I think Mountain Dew, like that was the natural progression of Mountain Dew, was eventually to become alcoholic.
Well, I think it was last week's? Was it last week's episode? Maybe it was. I think it was on Let's Get Stupid because literally every podcast is blending together now because there's so much fucking care. There's so much crossover, especially now with Huck being on ours for a second. That I think Huck had mentioned on there. Maybe it was our episode. I think it was where he mentioned Mountain Dew. Or no, because Nate Green and Huck talked about it briefly. That Mountain Dew was literally created to be a mixer. I think, or
yeah, Nate just put it into the chat there that it was started as a moonshine mixer.
You mean Tom?
No, this is Nate Green.
Oh, different Nate.
No,
there he is.
It's not Tom AI.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't see that. So yeah, that's good stuff. Perfect timing. Good deal. All right. Well, you passed that at least. So now we got to see if we can pass some other stuff. Oh, I didn't see this. Anything else? Yeah. No, I think we're good to move on to get a new game here. A relatively new game we created all by ourselves. No inspiration from anyone else, and nothing like that. So. The game is unpaid or underrated. So similar to this, other lesser game called overrated or underrated. We're going to give you a bunch of topics, and you essentially tell us if it's unpaid, meaning not so great, and then if it's underrated, it's pretty awesome. So I'll kick you off with a few here. Oh, unpaid or underrated. The concept of a closed road.
Oh, God. The story. I'll think on it while I tell the story of that.
Yep.
So, I bought a different car because my car had blown up, and the car needed a new hood. And so, I was driving a PT Cruiser to go to this guy's house to get the car and take the hood with me to Sioux Falls. On the way there, I was with a buddy, and we got to a road that I was like, I'm almost certain this is the road you're supposed to take. Pull up, road closed. I was like, all right. And I typically am one that's like pretty rule following. So I started backing up, and the guy's like, I would go around it. That's all he said. at least on his definition. He's like, no, I didn't tell you to do it. I just said I would go around it. So went around it, made it probably 3/4 of a mile down the road. And we both look at each other. I don't know why this road's even closed. And of course, that's when Destiny calls. Yeah. A culvert was washed out. That's why the road was closed.
Ouch.
And so we drove nose first into a washed out culvert.
Oh, so you didn't actually see it in time. You just fucking barreled through it. Ouch. Damn.
And so the only reason that the car wasn't totaled is because it was a PT Cruiser. And the transmission of a PT Cruiser is up underneath the body significantly, so it didn't hit anything.
And when you called the tow truck, you were like, "Go past the road closed sign."
Oh, it
Yeah,
gets
That's where we're
there's
at.
there's some more to it. So you guys have been to South Dakota enough.
Yeah, 4 or
which
5
is,
times.
which is wild to say, but yeah.
I just tell that.
I'm
I
a
just tell that's-
Canadian, and it's like, where do you go in the States? And I'm like, honestly, South Dakota for some fucking reason.
Yeah, I had to tell someone the other day. I've been there like 4 times, going on 5. It's like,
Like, yeah, of all the places you can go, you go to South Dakota. I'm like, look, it's not a cult.
but it is a washed out culvert.
So the farmer that owns the land around the road pulls up shortly after we went nose down. Just drives up, rolls down his window. What, you can't read? That's all he said.
Got ya.
So I was just like, fuck.
Oh, that's
Well,
good.
then-
That's good passive aggressiveness. I love that.
So the full circle story to this is this happened when I was a sophomore in college. And I go through college 3 years, 4 years later. I'm working at a job. And I'm telling this story to a lady who is one of my direct reports. And she goes, were you the gangster or were you the dumbass?
Because she knew
'Cause
someone.
It was her
related.
husband. Her husband was the one that came out and said, or what, you can't read.
So
That's good.
Were you the dumbass? Because you don't seem like a gangster.
Well, the other guy that was with me was 5'6" and had his shorts down to his ankles. Like he's
Okay,
just.
so yeah, you were the
Oh,
dumbass.
yeah. He's like
Yeah.
Caprice.
So
That's
I
really
would
funny.
say reading road signs is underrated.
That's really funny. I'm glad I asked that. Unpaid or underrated Jerry Jones, owner of the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones.
He's unpaid. Like he just. So the worst part is that I was born in 91. So like my first Cowboys football memory is them winning the Super Bowl in 96. And they've been
Yeah.
nowhere close since.
No.
And
Not
the
even-
biggest reason is just because he wanted the spotlight over Jimmy.
Mhm.
So he fired Jimmy so that way he could get more spotlight. So every year you're just like, oh, this is it. Like I feel like every year I've been those memes that everybody gets. This is our year, we're gonna do it. And you get to the playoffs and go, oh shit.
Yeah, I live near Toronto, so the Toronto Maple Leafs, that's every Toronto fan. No, we're doing good this year. And I just go, wait. Just wait.
All right, my last one. Unpaid or underrated showers at the Massonomic Gym. And you can interpret that as the shower or taking showers, just the shower in general. Do you use your druthers? I want to hear any funny stories about that shower. But I hear you use it more than anybody else.
Yes. So I thought this was going to come up, and it was ironic because watching today's YouTube video, Tanner asks him
Yes. He did.
if he has a shower.
I think that was
at the
after.
gym.
Yeah, when I heard that or saw that, I think it was right after Tanner had DM'd me and said, "Oh, ask him about the shower."
So when I was at the first gym that I started going to, I went there before work. I still go there before work, but I go to Massonomics before work. Shower there because it's like 3 blocks away from work. So that way I don't have to drive all the way home, have the disruption of getting into kids trying to get ready for school. And so when I was going to join Massonomics, I said, Tanner, does this work? And he's like, well, it depends. How warm do you like your showers? Because you get about 14 seconds of hot water, and that's it. And so when I first took a shower at Massonomics, I'm pretty sure it hadn't been cleaned in quite some time. The amount of dust on the base
Yeah, I could see that.
was pretty thick.
I think the only other person I've heard that took a shower there was Jack and Homeless, R.I.P.
And that wouldn't surprise me if that was the only other person. So I use it the 4 days a week that I go. So then I wash it once a month because I'm like, well, I don't know who else is using this, if anybody, but I'm going to make sure at least it's clean for me.
Yeah. That's really funny. Yeah. It's good stuff. So does it just have a tiny water heater that's only really made for the hand washing sink, and they just kind of piggybacked on that? Like I'm trying to think, like, why would it, like, I mean, unless it's just 100 years old, like, you should get a decent amount of time with any kind of water heater, as long as it's like at least, I don't know, unless it's a mini water heater, it should have enough to, I
Yeah,
guess
I
one
have
thing he
no
could do,
idea.
he could put a lower flow shower head on it, and then it wouldn't run as much water out as quick. So, I mean, it's dumb as it sounds, but like this is what I do for a living is I like reduce consumption of like water and gas and everything. So, look at the gallon per minute of the shower head, and if it's above 2 or 2.5 or whatever, you could buy a shower head. Like you can literally spend like $10 and buy a lower flow shower head, and it'll like if you take it from a 2.5 to a 1.25, you'll literally double the amount of time you can take a shower.
I
No,
think Nathan just read my mind.
fuck you guys. It's fucking what I do.
You could probably
It's,
just see me scratching my head, just waiting
it
for the
makes
chance to go,
it
fucking
if
nerd.
if he could literally take his 30-second shower to a 2-minute shower and only cost Tanner could buy it or he could buy it himself. Like that's such a good idea. Fuck you guys. You're welcome.
Sounds
Enjoy
like,
your cold shower, fucker.
it sounds like you have a job to do next time you're in South Dakota there, my friend.
I probably could just grab one from work and oh god, so much fun. I'm not gonna travel with a shower head. Fuck you guys.
It's just so funny that I was like, as soon as he's done, I'm gonna call him a nerd. And then Nate Green puts in the chat, nerd.
Just trying to help people. All I do is help people, and all I do is get shit.
It's great. It's great. It's great. It's just
Well,
you're a nerd.
I don't see Tanner putting it in because I have to laugh. The first time I met Tanner and was talking about the gym and like the shower, I said, "Do you mind if I put in a shower hook or a towel hook?" And he's like, "I guess yeah, I don't care." And then the next time I talked to him, I was like, "Yeah, I put it up there and then I take the towel with me." He's like, "Oh, thank God. I don't know what people would do to a towel if you were just leaving it there all week."
Oh god, yeah, it'd definitely be the emergency toilet paper.
Did we get an unpaid or underrated on that one?
No, I didn't.
I think they're underrated because it is convenient as hell.
Yeah. Just cold as hell.
But just well, hey, if you keep watching those shirtless influencers, Joey, they
Oh
all
my
say
God.
that it's the best thing in the world. It's cold showers.
I know, yeah. I might as well spend $5,000 on a cold plunge too. I please, bro, trust me. You know what, Keith, just to kind of make you feel a little better. Today, as I was doing the show notes, I was having a pint and somebody asked their buddy about something on cell phones.
Mhm.
And then they both, like, because they're both just old men, were like talking about it and arguing. And then I was like, no, an RCS chat is this and this and this and this. And the one guy pulled up Google, looked at me and was like, you're right. And I'm like, I know, but like, don't ask me any follow-ups, please. Nerd. Yes, nerd. I went through the notes and I pulled out like probably 13 or 14 unpaid and underrateds. So I'm gonna ask a few.
Do what you gotta do.
Unpaid or underrated barefoot shoes.
Underrated. I wear my barefoot shoes any chance that I can.
And do you wear specifically the North Dakota barefoot, or do you have other ones as well?
So I wear the North Dakota barefoots as often as I can, but at work they aren't quite dressy enough a lot of times.
Mhm.
So I have 2 pairs of Zero shoes that are just like they look like Hey Dudes without the cushion.
Yeah,
and then
actually, I'm the same way. I have a dressy pair, and then I have my barefoot.
Yep. And then I have a pair of Birchbury that are like dress shoes.
And they're like barefoot dress shoes.
They're minimalist and wide toe boxed. I wouldn't say that they're barefoot. They've got a little bit higher than most. But yes, Jory usually makes fun of me when I'm wearing those. When I went out to Boston, I took my barefoot North Dakota barefoot shoes with me. And the buddy that I was out there with, he's like showing all the people there. He's like, look at these shoes. Like, what is up with this? And I said, it's funny talking to people. I was like, to the things that I read online, they make a lot of sense as to why you should wear barefoot. I understand that there are people that can't wear barefoot. And if you're too late in life, it could take a lot of getting used to. But what has been disturbing to me now is listening to the barefoot guys talk about it and then looking at people's feet, especially women in dress shoes. And you're like, oh God, that cannot be good for your feet.
Yeah, no, not at all.
So
All
definitely
right.
underrated.
Agreed. Unpaid or underrated Christmas movies?
Is it a specific Christmas movie?
Sure.
So The one that I think of is not Die Hard, but The Nightmare Before Christmas. We have a long-standing argument in my house because it is my son's favorite movie. That to me, that is not a Halloween movie. There is no point in that movie that takes place on Halloween. It takes place the morning after Halloween. Therefore, it cannot be a Halloween movie. It is a Christmas movie. And we go back and forth. So to me, Christmas movies are underrated. Unless they're the Hallmark Christmas movies. Those are definitely unpaid.
They're all terrible. All right. So unpaid or underrated Halloween movies?
I'm not a scary movie guy.
No.
I was talking to a friend of mine. The last one that I watched was The Conjuring. And like halfway through it, had to open the windows. I was like, nope, can't do it anymore.
Really?
I'm just not.
The Conjuring. That one wasn't even that scary.
That's usually the answer that I get.
Yeah.
Like I really loved It because I loved the 1991 version of It. So I really liked the remake of it. But other than that, Halloween movies to me are unpaid, but I think they serve a purpose.
Okay. Unpaid or underrated Big Gulps?
I think they're underrated.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, it's because this is where the cheap in the cup probably comes from, is that you get so much more volume for it. You get so much more soda than you would in like a $2 20-ounce bottle.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, they're
ice guy then?
I am a no ice guy.
That's. I'm a light ice guy sometimes, depending on what it is, but it doesn't go light ice on my. If I'm paying like $4 for a tea, it's going to be light ice, so I can actually get enough caffeine out of it to be worth it.
If you know anything about that kind of fountain pop thing, the markup is like 2,000%.
Yeah,
it's unreal. So for 7-Eleven to like, or whatever you guys get your Big Gulps from down there, like that's a loss leader, but it probably makes them more money.
Yep.
Like McDonald's will sell it for $4, but it costs them maybe 12 cents. Right? It costs,
yep.
7-Eleven.
The point. I think every drink at McDonald's is $1. I don't know if that's a regional thing or not, but like I can go to McDonald's and pay $1 for any.
Yeah, but it was just an example. Sorry, I'll go Wendy's.
No,
my bad. I don't know what to
I
tell you, but and then for like Circle K or 7-Eleven to be like, no, we're gonna do it for $2. They're still gonna sell more volume.
So that might be
12-cent pop, right?
So seeing the Circle K Polar Pop, that's the one in town that we have is used to be a Holiday, but then Holiday got bought out by Circle K.
Circle K bought everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Holiday had a program that it was $10 a month for a drink a day. Any fountain drink that they had, you could get a drink a day for $10 a month. And if you figure, what I always figured is like, okay, well, it's $1 for a soda, $10. I only have to get 10 sodas for a month, and I've made my money back.
Mm-hmm.
And if Jory is the one that posted this, there was one time we were at the gym, and I rode my bike, and it was raining. And he said, do you want to ride to work? And I paused for a minute, and I said, yeah, but can you take me to the Holiday first?
Were you part of all this? Was it Ruby Tuesdays that had the
oh yeah
$20 to $20 a month for all the limited lunch salad bars or something? Were you in on all that?
I was not.
Okay,
but I definitely
it seemed like it'd be up your alley there.
If it wasn't across town, it definitely would have been.
Okay, that tracks then. Yeah, that makes sense.
I got like 2 more, maybe 3. Unpaid or underrated trains.
This is where it gets tough for me because they're really inconvenient.
When you live in Aberdeen.
When you live in Aberdeen and you live on the other side of the tracks to everything. But I still think they're underrated. The amount of volume that train, like when you think of logistically, the amount of volume that trains actually push through the continent, they're underrated, but still very inconvenient.
I agree. Maybe I'll do one more for you. Unpaid or no, I do want to do both of these. Unpaid or underrated euphoniums.
Underrated, 100%. So for anybody most people, I should say.
Yeah.
Most people that don't know what a euphonium is, it's like a mini tuba. It's also called a baritone. And that's what I played in high school and college, but didn't finish my degree in it. So to me, when you hear a euphonium, it sounds beautiful. Like it's a very full instrument, but you don't hear it very often because it's more niche. And typically you hear trombone because that's what most bands have in small town South Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, they're underrated. And actually, I was listening to, that's my focus music, is a euphonium cover of songs.
I saw it in the list and I was like, is that supposed to be euphemisms? And then I Googled it and I was like, I have a new thing to learn. Yeah, nerd.
Look up, you could even look up a fourth button. So if you look at a euphonium, they have 3 buttons here, and there's a fourth one that if you grab it like this, so that way you don't have to do 1 and 3 together.
That's wild.
Just a Nate's nerd comment. I can go down that for a while.
Oh, I think we're not going to go too far down that road. My last one is unpaid or underrated Guinness.
Underrated.
Yeah,
for me,
buddy.
Guinness. It was funny because I didn't drink much in high school, which talking to a bunch of people from South Dakota is surprising. But the beer that was at my house was Guinness, and so when I did drink, it was a Guinness. And I came up to college, and I remember doing like drinking games with Coors Light, or no, it was Keith Stone with the Keystone Lights, and I was like, no, I can't even do this.
This ain't it. Once you go Guinness, it's hard to go. It's hard to go back, but you also can't play drinking games or chug a Guinness. Like, you've got to enjoy that thing.
Yes. Did you hear that they're trying to spin it that it's not that many more calories? Because I don't know how many calories are actually in it, but
it's not. And it's one of those, like, everybody I've ever talked to is like, it's like drinking a loaf of bread, or it's so heavy. But I could literally pour a glass of water and then pour a half a pint of Guinness on top of that water, and it'll sit on top of the water.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because Guinness is technically lighter than water. Like,
so on that note, have you had a black and tan?
Of course I have. There's another version of it. There's a black velvet. You ever had one of those?
I have not.
So a black velvet is so black and tan are Guinness on the top and usually a lager on the bottom.
The official one was a harp.
Yeah.
I think they stopped making harp.
No, harp is still available. It's still made by Guinness, but I think harp is still just a lager.
Okay.
Right. But if you do Guinness on the top and Strongbow on the bottom, right, which is a hard cider. Oh, that is the top tier mixed Guinness drink. Because you get the top of the Guinness, and then about halfway through, you start getting the sweetness of the cider mixed with it. And yeah, it's just perfect, especially when it layers properly.
I'll have to try that. That sounds really good.
Yeah. More nerd shit. Sorry. Well, I think you passed unpaid and underrated.
He did. I just wanted to throw something out before you let us ask, before you ask us any questions.
Whoa.
You heard what I said.
You good?
Little seizure there, probably. So Big Zach, as a Aberdeen resident, sell Aberdeen to anyone coming into the Lift Hard Live Easy this year. Either the whole Lift Hard Live Easy experience, or just, what should someone's spouse go do instead of hanging out at the hotel room for 4 days? Sell people on some Aberdeen goodies that they might not have already heard about via Tanner, possibly.
The best part for this year is that it's going to be all in one thing, because it's all going to be one area. There's a restaurant there, so if you didn't want to leave that, or if you just took a flight there and got a lift to the hotel, you wouldn't have to leave. But you're also within 5-minute drive of Storybook Land, and at that time of year, they're going to have the rides open. So there's a small kid roller coaster that you can ride. Doesn't really help the spouse as much because that roller coaster is not built for adults. It's not fun for adults to ride, but
unlike the sand movers that apparently are only built for adults.
So, oh yes, I remember. And I was like, gosh, what a yes, the sand build.
Yeah, I remember whatever Tanner and Tommy were talking about it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and he's not wrong, because I remember my son sitting on it and you had to grab it and pull for him because it's like, this is not working for anybody but an adult. Then you got to try the double dipped wings at Circus.
I do need to do that. I've been to fucking Aberdeen enough that I need to try that one night.
And the Circus is actually expanded even, so it's got some more space in it. So if there was a crew meetup there, the loggers that this year, instead of pounders,
Oh yeah,
is
so
going to be.
is that one's just more like open, like you just order at a kiosk or something, or how's that different? Because I think the whole point was to like not basically piss off wait staff for 4 hours like we have the last 2 years.
I think no. The problem with pounders, and maybe again this harkens back to the Fairfield thing, is I didn't really notice the problem. I think they just wanted to cut all their staff. I think that was it. They were just like, it's 9 o'clock. We want to cut everybody. Get out. And I think that's what the problem was. And that just kind of translated into get your bills and get out.
The difference with loggers is that's what they're accustomed to. Like when we were there, I was just there on Monday night, and it's just people hanging out, drinking a beer, maybe getting some food here and there. Whereas Pounders is more restaurant. And so when the crew takes over Pounders, they're like, oh, we weren't ready for this. We typically close at 9. Loggers is like, no, we're going to be here until 2. So, but when you go into Loggers, also there's a bar up front, and then if I imagine, because it's going to be a Thursday night, there's the room in back that they can block off, and so there's a whole other side that has another bar separate from the front. But it'll be interesting because you get, at least last year, you got buy one get one free with a softball jersey. So Thursday nights are softball league nights. So I don't know if we're going to be competing with those guys.
I think you'll be having fun with those guys.
Mm-hmm. Depends on the guys.
And don't forget, if you go to Circus, do the double dipped wings, but get the Parmesan dip on the side.
Yeah, I could.
That's the secret. I said it in the Discord, and I think I mentioned it on here before, because they said that guy that was doing the YouTube for the best wings in the country.
Oh,
yeah, they've talked about it.
And chicken parm dip, that's funny. And when we went on the, I want to say the Sunday after everybody, there was just a small group of us there. And I said, oh, we're here from Astronomics, right? They always talk about you guys and all that. And the guy goes, you've heard about us? Like all the way in Canada? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, all right, here's the secret. And he just kind of like brought me that parm dip. He's like, this is the real secret to the double dip wings. And I was like, okay. Like, yeah, I got the secret influencer input years ago. All right.
I will say that the downside of it, the Thursday night, or no, not the meat being where it's at, it's the exact opposite side of Tanner's house. Yeah. So Tanner's house is on the complete opposite side of town.
Which still is
there's
not
a nice
very
street.
Far.
Well,
how's the road construction? Because like Stephanie didn't come last year, but she went the first year, and her only memory is the fucking road construction. Like she's commented on it multiple times when we talk about coming to Live Hard, Live Easy again, and she's just like, because she was like, it took a half hour to get from anywhere to anywhere. I was like, I mean, maybe it didn't take a half hour, but it definitely took 20 minutes. It definitely wasn't the 10 minutes we were promised, but it was also traffic and construction everywhere.
Yeah, that'll probably be just as bad.
All right,
constantly filling potholes that work for a year and then need work again.
Fucking Larry, do it right.
Yeah, I was gonna say blame Larry for that. Yep. All right, I think. Do you have anything for us?
I do. I had a couple questions.
Shoot.
What's one piece of merch you would own multiple of? Not different sizes or anything, but actual multiples.
And I currently do the short lift shorts, like the new style shorts that are lift shorts. I got 2 of those right off the bat. And I was happy with that decision because I could wear lift shorts fucking all the time. So I think I think if I counted up, I like I have like 2 or 3 pairs of mediums, 2 or 3 pairs of larges, 2 or 3 pairs of extra larges, and then I've got like the new style. So I have like 6 pairs of the fucking OG champion ones, and then now I have 2 of the lift shorts of the new ones, and then another like 2 or 3 pairs of other designs. So yeah, mainly shorts because it's easy enough to, like, I don't know, shorts are just, there's only so many options for shorts, and I like a black short. Like I don't need, like, I don't know, I'm not big on the blue and the green, I don't think necessarily, but I really do like the squat ones though, the maroon ones, but those are just, I don't know. But yeah, that's my answer, the lift shorts for sure, 100%.
Easy answer, silkies.
Oh, the silkies, yeah.
Yep. I wear them, and then I lose them, And then I find them a month later and I go, oh, thank God I found these again. And then I wear them and then I lose them. So like if I had multiples, it would be easier to find them all the time. But that's the easiest answer is I would just have one size of those times like 3. I think would make my life a little easier.
Okay. Because mine is the 2.0s. I love the 2.0 lift shorts. I have 3.
I'm going to rip right through them. No, the 2.0 or the 3.0?
The 2.0 are the sweatpants.
Okay, yeah.
3.0 was the dollar bill and the $2 bill in the pockets. Those are super small. Like whatever size you think you are, get 2 bigger.
Yeah, I'm going to rip right through those next time I wear them.
And so I have 3 of the 2.0s because Tanner had it posted one time that get these before they're gone. This is the second. I have the card that says you got the second to last pair, and then he found more. I was like, oh, well, I kind of wanted to get the last one.
He got you with the 3 spots left.
Exactly.
So when you order, do you just DM him and say, hey, I want this? Or do you actually order and then he refunds your shipping? Like, because all the local guys, I know they
have a local pickup option now.
Oh, yep. Is that actually? Okay, I never saw that. Good deal.
That's how I would order it. But then also, like, when I've returned one, I just said, hey, can I just give you this shirt back and you give me the Silly Goose shirt so that way you don't get charged the Visa fee. And that's how that worked. This is one I was thinking of the other day. What is one piece of equipment or assistance gear you think others find underrated? So sorry, what one piece of equipment or assistance gear you think others find underrated? So for me, the reason it came up was the Versa grips.
Mm-hmm.
They're like I use them all the time, and I think they're underrated. I think they're
so something I like.
Awesome.
Something supportive that we like that other people might not like. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like a soft belt for strongman. I see a lot of strongmen like on the local, like there's a lot of guys that I train with regularly that don't have a soft belt. They just only use their powerlifting belt, and sometimes even a shitty power. Like one dude's got like that dark iron one off Amazon, and like that is a strongman belt, and I'm like, dude, that's fucking trash. But like, I wasn't a believer in the soft strongman belt from Cerberus until I got one, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. Having the underbelt and then doing like my leather belt on top of that. It took me like 9 months to a year to actually adapt to that. And now that I am, it's like I go out of my way to like, wear the strongman kit more than I ever have thought I would before. So yeah, this strongman soft belt, 100%.
Mouth guard. Yep. It's one of those things where I had one and I just bought like a cheap hockey one and it didn't really do its like job. So I stopped wearing it. And then my dentist was like, what's going on? Like you are clearly doing something to like damage the enamel on the top of your teeth. And I was like, well, I'm a lifter. And the dentist was like, you need to start doing something about that. So I ended up getting one of the Airwaves. And I think for some of those like really heavy RP 10 days, whatever like that looks like, yeah, I'm definitely an advocate of the mouth guard. Mostly to protect your jaw, protect your teeth, protect your tongue. Because sometimes it's very tempting to bite your tongue while you're doing some of this too, right? So squat plug, I think Dodds wants me to say there. Sorry, yeah, we're definitely not all gonna wear those.
And that's probably not a one size fits all for some of you guys.
Nate says he's not a teeth clencher. I am, and I grind in my sleep. If I'm hungry, the joke is that I chew on my teeth, right? Because I'll just start like grinding my jaw. So the mouth guard during lifting is definitely that's my answer for sure.
Stephanie grinds her teeth at night, and she has a mouth guard specifically for sleeping.
Yep. I probably should. Yeah,
it was expensive, like because you had to get like a custom fit one. I think it cost us a little bit of money that was not through insurance at all. It was a few $100.
Yeah. The last question I had was: have you ever been bullied into buying a Massonomics thing? As in, are either of you all go or no shows?
Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe the all go. I bought the all go no show when it was like $12 on clearance, so probably not. I don't know. Like I've said it on. I almost said it too much on here that there's drops where I'm just like, that's not for me. So like, and I want to be the guy that supports them with everything because they do so much for us. But I'm not gonna buy a shirt that I'm not gonna be comfortable wearing, or like not necessarily comfortable wearing. Like if it doesn't call to me, like I'm just not like. So I don't know, the silly goose thing. Like there's stuff that I can appreciate, but I know that it's not me, and I don't want to like misrepresent, I guess, myself. So, but I've literally owned like 70 pieces of their merch, so I do not feel bad if I miss. Like I could go 2 years and not buy anything and not feel bad because I own so much shit already that I don't need to buy a million new things. But I do feel guilty, I guess, sometimes that I don't participate in all their drops. But it's also like I don't want to get to. I never wanted to feel like it's a burden, and I don't think they want us to feel like it's a burden. So I will not buy something that I'm not in love with, I guess.
I'm kind of in the same boat, but mostly in the I just don't need more stuff.
Well, yeah, that's
I just I start to look at the future. Obviously, like you have kids, you have a wife, you start to like look at how things are going to look in the future, and I just don't want to accumulate more things. So I'm at the rate now where I just need to really love it and want to show it off. And, then you start to look at how much does it cost? What is the value of it? How much am I going to wear it? You have to like balance that plus shipping, unless it's Silkies. Yeah, I need 12 more of those. But so like, it's been a while since I ordered. Plus also, it's been a while. It's because it's like shipping is a nightmare right now. Right.
And Carol Stream.
It is Carol Stream. I just don't, and you don't know, right? You don't know when I'm going to get hit with customs fees, tariffs fees, or whatever. My barefoot shoes that I ordered, nothing. I didn't get hit with anything. And they were shipped express. Whereas my certified flag, I got nailed with $30 Canadian in fees. And I'm like, so like, it just comes down to that, like, okay, how much do I love this versus, so to answer the question, yes, I think the certified gym facility thing, I had FOMO for that because I didn't know what it was. So I kind of sat there and I'm talking to Morgan and I was like, I want to order this. I don't really understand what it is, but like, they're really like, there's only 2 or 3 of them left. I think I'm going to go ahead and order this because everybody seems to be raving about it. So I felt like I kind of got FOMO'd into that, and I'm so happy I did. Like, I'm a first rounder on that one, as Nate and Dodge are talking about it. But I don't think if it wasn't for the pressure, I would have ordered that. I am very happy I did, though.
So I asked that question because I have the leather patch hat that says Massonomics on the front. And I had asked Tanner about that hat, like if they were going to come out with something like that. And he said, yeah, I don't know. Hats don't usually sell. And so it's kind of tough to keep an inventory. So I bought a different one very similar to that. And then like 3 weeks later, they dropped that hat. And I was like, I don't really need 2 of the same hat with a different logo on the front. And then he brought it up in one of the podcasts. He was like, yeah, we have all these people that tell us they want to buy something. Hey, if you made it in this color, we'd buy it. And then we make it in that color. And then we end up with it sitting on our shelves forever. And so I was like, oh, fuck. I guess
I'm the guy.
Yeah, that's funny. I got a couple follow-ups, I guess, to that. Was like, so I do always buy shit. Like I bought shit at the Arnold too. So it's like, if I feel bad if I miss like two or 3 drops, but then I spend like $100 at the Arnold, like it made up for it basically. Also, I know this is more of a shout out or a call out to Tanner, if you will. I think this year you're not getting a Lift Hard Live Easy shirt with your membership just because they've lost money doing that. So 100% no one cares. Like we expect you to like do what you got to do financially. Like that's the smart decision. Please just make it available before the meet. Like don't only make it a meet exclusive. I mean, that's my suggestion. I would love to buy that shirt, have it washed and actually wear it because I don't know. I just have I do not like wearing unwashed shirts. It's just gross to me. So like I'd love to be able to buy that prior to, it would suck paying the extra shipping, but like I don't care. I think you'd make a killing selling those shirts, but like I don't know. I know they probably need to make it a meet exclusive just so they don't end up running out, I guess, maybe. I don't know. But I would love to have that shirt in advance if possible. Big Tanner. So see what you can do there, big guy. And then Scott just asked if he can buy a No Wine Cellar t-shirt. Yes, reach out to Hogan and they will make you one and send you one because I think I'm retired from. I've actually moved offices, so like the woman in business that I've used for the past like 5 years to make my shirts. Granted, she's only like a mile away, but it's also just like it's not in the basement of my office anymore, so I'd have to like drive by that warehouse every day for a month until like the one time I actually see her car in the office to go talk to her. So I don't think I'm making t-shirts myself ever again. But anyone that has a Cricut or anybody that just wants the logo, I can text you the logo and you can just make it yourself too if you want. But I lost money making shirts, so it doesn't upset me if anyone wants to make a shirt with any of my logos on them and just buy it themselves off any online distributor. That would be so much more convenient for everyone. And Scott, you can talk for a second here. I know we're wrapping up here, but seeing yourself shit on a podcast and have people talk about it for the past week, how was that? Like, you literally. I mean, we kind of put you on the spot because I think you were just trying to consume the podcast and you just happened to be on the John.
Dude,
And we were like,
that was out of control.
We gotta unmute this fucker. And then Huck Finn's commenting on you taking a shit. Like, that's just the funniest thing.
Dude, I love it. I was telling my lady Kelly and my stepson about that at dinner last night, and they were just rolling, laughing their ass off. But I got on the podcast before poop stories were even really a thing.
Yeah.
So now, now I feel like I can finally fit in with the rest of the crew having my own poop story.
Well, your poop story almost trumps them. I shit on the podcast.
Yeah. And I do feel like I think it was a topic for the episode. I wasn't there. Of like what we would do when we run out of guests. I'm like, I could say at that point we'll be like 3 or 4 years deep. We can repeat guest and just do a whole another interview and just kind of wherever it goes, it goes. Like because like the first like 20 people, like I don't remember those episodes hardly at all. And like we could definitely deep dive people again and just talk about what's new in the last few years. So.
Well, yeah, those first few episodes were like an hour long. And then everybody else gets like 2 hours.
I feel bad. I still feel bad because like I vividly remember in Daminger's episode being like, I got nothing else for you, buddy. Just tell the world what you want them to know. And I was just like, that was such a bad like podcast. Like me being
you guys really got into your groove around 50. Like you really hit your stride around 50. Like it became a well-oiled machine.
I think we could.
The guests knew what to expect. The host knew what to expect.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, that's the purpose, right? And as much as we can say like we feel bad about those past episodes, a lot of the first. Sorry, Zach, you're going to get a history lesson here. A lot of the first people we had on knew that they were our guinea pigs.
Mm-hmm.
You were going to get on this episode. Like, I think the first episode is literally Nate interviewing me and Keith.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, that's the pilot.
Yep. Yeah, and it was 0. Like, this is just us learning how to do this. And I think the first 10 to 15 episodes were just the people that were involved in making the podcast happen.
It was mostly the founding fathers.
And, like, I don't think anybody in those episodes really would expect anything else. Like, we're shit. We know we're shit, but if we don't start now, we'll never get better. And those folks were like, well, then we will be the ones to help you launch. And
it was an honor, boys.
I appreciate that. And you were there too. And we'll get them on. And a lot of those people have been on again.
Yeah, we've had a lot of that is a good point. We've roundtabled a large amount of the people. And like, honestly, the roundtables a lot of times too are, hey, who's available? So they've had the opportunity to say, hey, I'm available.
I'm available every night.
Just whether you're on the toilet or not.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Zach, if that's is that all you got for us, or do you have some more?
Well, Keith actually reminded me. I was going to ask if there was non-crew that you wanted to interview. And I mean that by like a realistic.
I could get a lot of different people on if I wanted to. No, like I don't know. This is the crew cast to me. Like for now, like in 3 years, if we want to evolve into a fitness podcast, which I don't know, Joey doesn't want to. Like I don't like. We would just be Massonomics adjacent podcast and like get on random people that like I'm lucky to be friends with on Instagram. But like I don't want to do those interviews because that's not what this is. This is to get people prepped for the Arnold, Crew Falls, and Lift Hard Live Easy, and then just be more familiar with people in the Discord. I don't want to waste 2 hours talking to someone that won't respond to anyone on Instagram. Like that's pointless to me. I wouldn't want to listen to that episode. The couple that were adjacent to that are my least favorite episodes we've ever done.
Whoa.
I enjoyed series episode, but there was a couple other ones
No, I know who you're talking
that I
about.
didn't
She got
enjoy.
it though. She got the whole deal though.
Oh, she
you know?
clued in minutes, right? And like
Yeah.
that's
And I'm sure she responds to Paul Floss's DMs that he's sliding into her all the time.
she talks to me, but now she has her own podcast,
I did see that.
right? And it's just like I even commented and I was like, "You're good at this, and I can tell you because you were on ours." I would say, if you don't mind me also answering that question.
Yeah.
I think Keith really wants Liver King on because Liver King is begging to be on some podcasts.
We'll get his Netflix, all publicized.
Anybody? So except for, I would say 2 or 3 people, a lot of the non-crew that have been on are because of me thinking it would be really funny to get this on. Siri, Huck Finn.
I did enjoy Huck Finn. That was
Anybody? Shut up, phone. I'm not talking to you.
you guys missed. I don't know if did you hear my phone ring like an hour ago? I like the group chat I'm in with Carp and a bunch of other home gym guys. Like Carp accidentally butt dialed it, and somehow like it almost never rings through, but it rang through like the most obnoxiously loud ring. And I'm like,
it's because I said her name. My phone was like, "Oh, do you want to talk?"
That's really funny.
So like, getting her on was one that I thought would just be fucking hilarious because she was crew. And I think a lot of people forget about that. She was crew and eventually had to leave because she stopped lifting. And it was, I think she was there about a month before I joined. And I just kind of heard all these rumblings like, do you remember the one? Do you remember the one that had the site? And I was like, huh? Who? And then they told me who it was. And then I said one day, like, I'm going to get her on this podcast. And, having Huck on because Huck is adjacent, right? So to say that there are some non-crew that I think I would get on if the joke was funny enough, right? Like, would I get Brian J1008 on? Absolutely. I think that would be one of the funniest things I could pull off. Yeah, I know. And but like, come on, that would be genuinely funny, but it would be a waste of crew time.
A 4-person podcast with Brian, Randy, and you two.
I would the ones that I could see. I think I might have answered this before. Like there's a handful of guys that are crew adjacent, like Ryan DeFay. Like we'll probably get him on sometime, but I know he doesn't pay a supporting membership. If we had ever got Mary on, that would have been cool. Like so obviously Tanner and Tommy to me still don't pay supporting membership, so they're not crew, but they've been on the podcast. There's a handful of guys like that like I know through Massonomics Gym that don't pay supporting membership dues, but they're like buddies and would have some insight and stuff. But I don't know, like I could take this down a home gym rabbit hole and interview a bunch of random people that like own companies and home gym that.
But then it's no longer the crew podcast, right?
Exactly. No, that's what I'm saying.
That's the home gym nerd podcast. No, I'm
people
agreeing with you.
The people that I have access to would be a whole set. It would have to be another podcast that I started, and I don't want to run 2 podcasts because I don't know if Nate GPT has time to do 2 different things. If he's alive still.
Hey, can I pitch a podcast idea for you guys?
Yep.
Yeah. Is it riding in cars with shitting in the toilet?
No. Some weekend we need to have a 24-hour crew podcast.
Okay.
We can have people sign up in advance for a time slot. You guys can stay on as long or as little as you want. Take naps, come back. Then you can release an episode a day for like 12-day, 2-hour chunks, 12 days in a row. Crew party, 24-hour podcast.
Like you and me be the only people that listen to that, Scott. I think like 3 people would listen to that. I am curious.
Dude, I work 8 hours a night. I listen to podcasts all night long. Nate said the crew lock-in, the crew overnighter.
I will give you guys the credit, though. Last week was significantly better than the party cast because at least you could hear everybody.
Oh, yeah. What's your...
The muting was key.
Oh, yeah. Having that set up like that was clutch, and having Joe like outside of we did like a really outside of the for not doing it when you went to go piss the one time.
Oh yeah, when I was just like really I was like, hey Dan, go ahead, and I got up and went to the bathroom.
Yeah,
like,
I was like, I guess I'll just talk to Matt for 5 minutes.
I had to pee so bad. Oh man, did I have to pee so bad? Anyway, all right, back to Zach. Like it's his episode.
Yeah, we got to round this out.
Oh yeah, Zach, I can't wait to listen, bud.
Oh, Well, thank you. One thing I wanted to say, just I know, and it's been one that's stuck in my head's post that Murph made a long, long time ago about the crew being there for people that don't know what other people are going through.
Mhm.
Like just being there as a supportive group. It's something that, not trying to go on the SAP train that you guys had last week, but just you guys is building out the community even further. Like I've appreciated. I knew Big Anthony when we were volunteering together at the Lift Hard Live Easy, but then to listen to you guys talk to him, like, oh, I know him a little bit more. Now I can actually like talk to him in the gym about some things I heard. One of the first podcasts I listened to was Big Caden, because he's the first gym member you guys had interviewed. Getting to know him, even though I don't see him very often at the gym. So building this community has been something that's been appreciated, and I think you two are a big part of the whole crew community as a whole.
Thank you. We try. It's
Thanks, man.
that is the goal, bring people together, and I don't know. It's a lot of work, but I do see it pay off often, so it's enjoyable. If this didn't pay off and we didn't get those moments like that, like if last week's episode was really just like, I don't know, I've listened to a couple episodes, you guys are funny, I guess sometimes. Like if it was literally that, like I'm not saying that like I needed to get, blown off for 2 hours or anything like that, but like it was I really much appreciated last week, and just hearing what we do mean to some people and what this world that we've helped contribute to even farther. Like we've taken
Dude,
this
it's okay to want to feel validated.
It was nice.
Thanks, Scott,
It's
because I was
okay.
about to say that. Yep. And I didn't need it because we get it all the time, but like listening back to it,
I did. Did you listen to the episode? I know you don't literally listen, but
I listened to like most of it. I could tell
listened to
at
that
some
one.
point. I
I
think
did a
about the
full-
time Huck Finn came on, I got annoyed at my own voice.
Nate had to do some, Nate GPT had to do some heavy editing on that one.
Yeah, and then at some point I was like, I'm going back to my horror podcast. But like, no, you're right. It is that episode. You're right. Could have gone that way. Instead, we had 30 people waiting in line for 2 hours to tell us how much they like us,
Yeah, that was
or
fun.
at least like our podcast.
Yep.
And like that means something.
We got Tommy on. Like I got
Tommy DeFay is here.
like because I texted, I had reached out to Tommy and he never responded, and then I was like, he's busy, and then like 3 hours later he's like logging into and it was like perfect timing too, because it was like I was like, wow, that was just cool.
Yeah.
And then like Tommy specifically saying like, because you were trying to downplaying that, like, we're here because of you, and like him basically stopping us in your tracks. He's like no, dude, like you've done all the work. Like you guys set fucking 3 hours apart every week to do this legitimately for fucking 50,000 weeks in a row. It's pretty cool. So
All right, you running around him out with some ads there?
yeah, Big Zach, I'm gonna hit you with some affiliate ad raising. So these are companies that without having on Instagram, you might not know who all these are. So give them the old Google and use a little code unpaid at some of these, and you might save you a little money and possibly get us to a little speedboat. So affiliate ad reads, we got Obsidian Ammonia, Barbell Rescue, Plate Snacks, Home Gym Con, Belt Fed Strength, Freedom Fitness Equipment, and apparel from the Strength Co. Code unpaid, save you a little bit of money at all those places, and just can't go wrong supporting good friends of ours.
Do you get an affiliate code if the sponsor can't remember what the podcast is called?
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually
or,
don't.
Or if
I
they've
don't know
never
if
listened
anyone.
to an episode and they go, "What are you talking about? I've been here the whole time."
Yeah, with the Strength Co. Let us know if anyone's actually used the discount code for Strength Co. for apparel, because like some of these, like some of the ones that aren't set up for us to get a kickback, like I don't know if anyone's used the affiliate for any of them. So I'm actually kind of curious on a couple of them. So let us know. Let us know on Instagram anytime you use our code, because we'll share the story and it just helps promote everything.
And if you are ordering from Obsidian Ammonia and he has a sale going on, you can still put our code in.
We don't double stack.
We don't know. We don't get commission, but I get a flag and I get moved up on their
there you go.
like the amount of people that have ordered from us. So you put in the discount code. It essentially does, but it also just like it's hard to understand, but it's like how many people have used the code versus how many people have like clicked my links and all that. It moves me up a list.
Nice.
And moves us up a list that just shows that people are actually using our code even if they're using the 40% code. Right?
Good deal. Good deal. Yeah, I've gotten always seeing the home gym stickers and the plate snacks it's been popping off. I mean, it's literally like equated to $50 in the last 2 years or whatever, but it's still pretty cool
Hey,
that like they're just, you know, regularly someone's using the plate snacks to
and
get
using it
stickers
to give us stickers for their home gym
a lot of times
or to buy
too.
our banner, right? That's awesome too. Whether
Yeah.
we get a kickback or not, you're going to Plate Snacks because they support us. You're buying a sticker for your home gym and then you're mailing us that sticker. Like we win twice, 3 times even. So
I might add it to my show notes here going forward, but I do want to give more credit or more remind people to you know, Tanner still has some of our shirts in stock, so you know we would love to sell those out. You know, there's no code unpaid or anything on that, but like seeing crew in Aberdeen wearing a Lift Hard Live Easy or an unpaid or underrated T-shirt is pretty damn cool. So you know, if you've been
The
on the
more
pod,
people that have those, the less I want to wear it because I don't like looking like everybody else.
well, I would like to just, you know, show Tanner our support and selling
just
them
sell
all
them
out.
out.
But
Yeah, just sell them out.
because there's definitely 30 or 40 people that have been on this podcast that never bought one, and why not, guys? It's a pretty cool shirt. So
They
do us a
don't like
favor.
us.
Oh no. All right, Big Zach, what is your email address where you want people to email you?
Should we text you
Yeah.
or?
So Big Zach's on the Discord there. You can find him there. Big Joey, where you at?
Joey_Malesko, MELECZKO. That's on Instagram. Essentially the only place you can find me now.
All right. So we've got the website, unpaidinternpodcast.com. Lots of cool stuff on there. If you want to catch up on any of the songs, we've got the Tron song and then the AI song. There's all kinds of cool shit like that under the blogs. Instagram, we do a ton of work there. Unpaid and underrated podcast. YouTube is always Race Your First Comment. I am Keith Honeycutt. You can follow me on Instagram at KeithHoneycutt73. More importantly, go follow my Orange Gym, the No Wine Cellar, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
I didn't mean to cut you off at the beginning. I was going to ask you if you were going to do it because Tanner did when that.
Oh no,
they had
I thought you were fucking with me, and I knew it was going to be a funny episode from then on because I was literally like getting ready to say like "welcome" and blah 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 from you, fucker. And it took me like a solid 30 seconds to mentally recover to get back in my zone. So that was it.
The cat showed up now.
Oh. Oh,
I was gonna
did
say-
see it. Little black one in the
The heck,
background. I see it.
man?
Oh, that's a
Waited
small
the
cat
whole
too.
episode to show up.
That looks looks like a baby.
You let me down.
Oh
Kai.
no!
I'm literally trying to zoom in on it. I'm like, give me the kitty.
I was like,
Give me the
he is
kitty.
not a baby. He is
Okay.
a good old fat cat.
Honk honk.